אהלן חברים, חג שמח לכולם, חג שמח, מה קורה, מה שלומכם? יש לנו לייב ארוך היום, מסיבת עיתונאים גם עם דני אבדיה וגם בעצם כל השחקנים של הוושינגטון הוויזארדס יהיה לנו היום. תגידו לי באמת שעליתי, שאני לייב, ששומעים אותי, רואים אותי. חג שמח, חג שמח. אז כן, יהיה לנו לייב ארוך היום, באמת מסיבת עיתונאים עם כל השחקנים של הוויזארדס. מתחילים עם ברדלי ביל, וכל מי שהולך לשאול, אני לא יודע מתי דני יעלה, אבל הוא יעלה במהלך השעתיים וחצי הקרובות. הוא יכול לעלות ישירות אחרי ברדלי ביל, והוא יכול לעלות גם בסוף. למרות שלדעתי הם התחשבו בעובדה שבאמת אנחנו נמצאים בישראל, ויעלו אותו יחסית מוקדם. אני שתבין כמה אני אוהב את הלייבים שלך, קיבלתי את הנוטיפיקשן של הלייב שלך שהייתי בנהיגה חזרה מארוחת חג, תכננתי את זה ככה שהגיע לתחנת דלק, כסת אותך עדיאל. תודה אחי. אהלן רותם, אהלן ברק, מה העניין עם כולם, מה שלומכם? אז אני מחכה בינתיים, אנחנו, כמו שאמרתי, אנחנו מתחילים עם ברדלי ביל, אנחנו אחר כך נעבור באמת על כל השחקנים. לא יודע אם אני אשאר ללייב הזה לכל השחקנים, כי המטרה בסוף היא לדבר עם דני, וזאת גולת הכותרת בסופו של דבר של הלייב הזה. אחר כך, ונראה פשוט נזרום עם זה, אני יודע איך זה מתחיל, אני לא יודע איך זה נגמר. כולם תשעים יעשו אותך בסוף. אתה לא יכול להפסיק עם הפוטבול מנג'ר של ישראל, אני רואה את זה בקבוע, כל נוהל שבת בצבא. אופיר, מי אמר שאני מפסיק עם הפוטבול מנג'ר של ישראל, אחי? אני אמרתי שבתקופה עכשיו שיצאה 2K, אני קצת פחות היה לי זמן להעלות את זה, בטח עכשיו עם החגים, אני בהמשך אחזור להעלות גם את זה וגם את ה-2K בצורה יותר גבוהה. עכשיו לגבי ההודעה של הלייב, לגבי השת"פ עם מכבי, מה שרשמתי גם למעלה וגם איך קוראים לזה? בקומיוניטי, בטאב קהילה, אני כל הזמן שוכח כי שלי באנגלית ואני יודע שרובכם בסופו של דבר עם יוטיוב בעברית. השת"פ שלי עם מכבי תל אביב הוא קודם כל שהחל מהמשחק הראשון שיהיה ביום חמישי נגד באיירן מינכן, אנחנו מתחילים איזשהו פיילוט חדש שבו אני נמצא במגרש, כמו שעשיתי לייב צפייה משותפת, אתם זוכרים, על משחקים של הכדורגל הישראלי, על המשחק של דני אבדיה, של ים הדר וכן הלאה. אוהד, יא תותח, מה העניינים אחי? אהלן קרלמן. אז בקיצור, כמו שעשיתי את הצפייה המשותפת עד עכשיו, אני הולך לעשות את הצפייה המשותפת במגרש, בהיכל, אני הולך להיות שם, אני קיבלתי, כמו שאמרתי לכם, אישור רשמי ממכבי תל אביב של תעודת עיתונאי למשחקים, יש לי שם כרטיס לתא עיתונאים, ליציע העיתונות, קבוע למהלך כל השנה, ונוסף גם איך קוראים לזה? למסיבות העיתונאים אחרי המשחקים, ואני הולך להיות שם במגרש, לשדר, לעשות צפייה משותפת, ולעשות, אני בעצמי עוד לא יודע מה, אבל זה יהיה משהו פורץ דרך, אני לא חושב שמישהו אי פעם ביוטיוב עשה את זה, לא רק בישראל. לייב של פיני ארוחת חג, יאללה, נתראה בהיכל, כן, יהיה פצצה, יהיה פצצה. אני מאוד אוהב את איך נצליח לשמוע אותך מעלה עם כל הרעש שם. יהיו לי אוזניות, כמו שיש לי כאן את האוזניות האלה שאני נכנסים היום בלייב, רגע. יש לך שאלה לביל? האמת שאין לי שאלה לביל, אני מניח שאת רוב השאלות, אני לא בטוח בכלל שיתנו לי לשאול את ביל, בטח עם הסאגה עכשיו שיצא לתקשורת. בדיוק לפני הלייב הזה יצא דיווח שראסל ווסטברוק ניסה לשכנע את ברדלי ביל לעבור מוושינגטון וויזארדס, וביל סירב. הוא ניסה לשכנע אותו לבקש טרייד, וביל סירב. תוכל לשדר את המשחק בלייב? שאלה טובה. לא, את המשחק עצמו אני לא יכול לשדר בלייב, אני יכול לשדר את כל מה שקורה מסביב למשחק. היום זה עמד ידי, כן, היום זה עמד ידי. אהלן ניב, מה העניינים אחי? אתם מוזמנים, אבל אם יש לכם שאלות לשחקנים אחרים, אתם באמת יותר מוזמנים לזרוק אותם פה בצ'אט, אני כמובן אסתכל, ואם יש שאלה טובה אני אשאל. חג שמח, ענק משהו מאורגן במכבי, תודה אייל, כן, זה באמת גדול, אני אסביר לכם למה, זה משהו גדול מבחינתי, בגלל שזה פורץ דרך, זה נותן איזושהי במה לאנשים שעד היום יוטיוב נדחק הרבה פעמים לפינה, והתייחסו אליו בעיקר כפלטפורמה של ילדים, והיום שלוקחים את יוטיוב בתור פלטפורמה שיכולה גם בסופו של דבר, ראיתי את הפרסומת של פיני בלילי, כן, ראיתי ניב, פרסומת גדולה האמת. אז עצם זה שלוקחים להם את יוטיוב ברצינות ברמה כזאת, שאני גם נמצא במסיבות עיתונאים של ה-NBA, גם נמצא במגרש, מקבל תעודת עיתונאי, הרבה עיתונאים רציניים ומוכרים בישראל לא מקבלים את תעודת עיתונאי במכבי תל אביב שאני קיבלתי, שזה אני מוריד את הכובע בפני מכבי תל אביב, באמת, אני לא, שהגשתי את הבקשה לא הייתי בטוח שאני אקבל אותה בכלל, כאילו זה לא היה משהו שאני צריך לקחת כמובן מאליו בכלל. אז זה כבר איזושהי קפיצת מדרגה ענקית שקורית ביוטיוב בישראל, וזה באמת לדעתי מאוד מאוד מבורך, ואני אשמח אם תוכלו לעזור לי בזה. אתם יודעים, כשאני בדרך כלל לא מבקש את הדברים האלה, אבל אני אשמח אם תוכלו לעזור לי בזה, להגיע, לצפות, להגיב בלייב, כי אני יודע, אני אומר לכם, תקשיבו כבר מעכשיו, הרבה מאוד אנשים רציניים הולכים לצפות בלייב הזה, כדי לראות איך באמת האינטראקציה קורית, איך הדברים מתנהלים וכן הלאה. אז אני אשמח מאוד אם תוכלו לעזור לי, לפרגן לי, באמת לשתף את זה עם עוד אנשים, גם אם אתם, לא יודע, צופים, נמצאים במשחק של מכבי תל אביב בכדורגל, מכבי חיפה בכדורגל באותו זמן, או צופים בהם, לא יודע, תפתחו, תפרגנו בלייק, תצפו קצת ותעזרו לנו. עוד מעט תוכל לעבוד בזה, זה היה הדבר המדהים שיכל לקרות, כן, בדיוק. חג שמח, תדבר עם דני, חג שמח, וכן, אנחנו נדבר עם דני בלייב הזה. מה שהולכים מעניין אותי לשמוע מדני, וזאת השאלה הראשונה שאני הולך לשאול אותו, אם אף אחד לא ישאל אותה לפניי. אתם יודעים משהו, אני לא ארשום את זה כאן, כי אני יודע שיש אנשים, אולי בסוף אחד העיתונאים הישראלים שצופים בזה, ישאלו את זה לפניי, אבל יש לי שאלה שאני חושב שהיא טובה, והיא מאוד מאוד מעניינת. הצ'ימורה לא התחסן, נכון? אני לא יודע מה קרה עם הצ'ימורה מטעמים אישיים כרגע עזב את הקבוצה. מה זה עזב? הוא זמנית לא נמצא בקבוצה, לא יודעים מה קורה איתו, הוא כרגע גם לא יהיה במסיבת עיתונאים היום, והוא לא פותח כנראה עם הקבוצה את המחנה אימונים. איך כפיר התותח? כפיר, חמוד, בונבון, אמיתי, הולך לישון עכשיו בדיוק. יואב, זה בדיוק מה שאני, לא בדיוק, בפחות או יותר מה שהולך לשאול אותו. פיני החתול שלי צופה קבוע, אז תפתח לו משתמש נפרד, שיהיו שני משתמשים. סטף קרי או מג'יק ג'ונסון? סטף. וואו, זה מדהים, סוף סוף תקבל הערכה, אני רק מחכה שיהיה לך זכויות לשדר משחקי, כן, וזה בדרך לשם. חבר'ה, לפני שנה מהיום, דווח שהוא הולך לעבוד על הבריאות הנפשית שלו. מעניין מה זה, זה באמת, אף אחד לא יודע, זה סימן שאלה אחד גדול. אני מניח שישאלו על זה במסיבת עיתונאים הזאת. אז כן, כמובן שהמטרה בסופו של דבר זה להשיג זכויות שידור של משהו בעתיד, ובעתיד הקרוב. אם אני מסתכל על זה רק לפני שנה לא היה לי לא את השיתוף פעולה עדיין, בדיוק לפני שנה בערך השגתי את השיתוף פעולה עם ה-NBA פחות או יותר. לפני שנה לא הכרתי ולא הייתי מקושר בכל כך הרבה מקומות כמו הפריצה המטורפת שקרתה לערוץ הזאת בשנה האחרונה. ואפשר לראות איך זה קרה, זה התחיל עם ה-NBA, עם המעקבדיה, התחיל עם השיתוף פעולה עם ה-NBA, המשיך עם עומרי כספי, ממשיך עם ערוץ הגיימינג, ממשיך עכשיו עם מכבי תל אביב, ובאמת שרק ילך ויגדל. באמריקה נהוג לשמור על פרטיות, אל תשאל שאלות. לא, אני בטוח לא אשאל שאלות על רוי. אני אמרתי שאני מניח שיהיו עיתונאים אחרים שישאלו, אני בטוח לא אשאל אותו. בוא נגיד שאם ייתנו לי לשאול שאלה, הדבר האחרון שאני רוצה זה לחטט בפרטיות. זה ההבדל אגב ביני לבין, אני חושב, עיתונאים. כי בסופו של דבר הערוץ יוטיוב הזה, אני לא עיתונאי, אני לא עובד בשביל איזושהי פלטפורמה שאני צריך להביא לה איזה רכילות או איזה תוכן שיהיה קליק ביתי. אני רוצה לשאול את מה שמעניין אותי, את מה שמעניין את הצופים. האמת, מעקבדיה פיצץ את הערוץ. נכון, מעקבדיה זה גם היה בתחילת הקורונה, הערוץ התחיל לגדול קצת בגלל שלא היה באמת, לא היה ספורט, ואז אחרי זה שהספורט חזר נהיה כזה יותר הייפ יחד עם המעקבדיה וכן הלאה. שאלת אם הקוקו נשאר. אני שאלת אם הוא פתח חבילות בפיפה. זה מדהים, זה כאילו כל יוטיוב היום זה רק פתיחת חבילות בפיפה, נכון? לדעתך בריילי ביל לסיים את הקריירה בוושינגטון? לדעתי האישית לא. הוא יש בעיות נפשיות, כך דווח בחול. כן, אבל בעיות נפשיות זה משהו מאוד מאוד כללי, כאילו אין פה שום דבר. מתי המשחק הכנה הראשון? המשחק הכנה הראשון אם אני לא טועה ב4/10, נכון? בוא נראה רגע. לא, סליחה, המשחק הראשון הוא בשישי, בלילה בין שלישי לרביעי עוד שבועיים. סליחה, לא, עוד שבוע. לא, עוד שבוע ויומיים, בלילה בין, עוד שבוע ויום, בלילה בין שני עוד שבוע ויום, בלילה בין שלישי לרביעי, סליחה. נגד רוקטס, לאחר מכן יש להם משחק נגד הניקס, רפטורס, 4 ימים אחר כך נגד הניקס, 3 ימים אחר כך נגד הרפטורס, ואז עוד 3 ימים נגד הניקס שוב פעם. סלמת קלרמן, שיהיה לי מזל טוב. שאל דני אם הוא יעשה לייב פתיחת חבילות בפיפה. פיני הקהל חוזר ל-NBA? כן, ברוב המקומות הוא חוזר ל-NBA. אני לא סגור בדיוק על אם יש מקומות שכרגע לא מקבלים קהל. מיסטר פולני תורם $2 ורושם, מי אתה חושב השחקן הכי טוב בהיסטוריה של הכדורגל? וואו, שאלה טובה. אין ספק שמסי ורונלדו הם לדעתי הרבה יותר טובים, שוב, זו דעתי אישית, יותר טובים ממרדונה ופלה וכן הלאה, כי זו תקופה שונה והם משחקים בתקופה יותר קשה, יותר תחרותית, עם השנים הכדורגל הופך להיות יותר תחרותי. מסי לטעמי השחקן הכי מוכשר, רונלדו השחקן שאני הייתי בוחר. מסי, אבל מבחינת איכות, אתה יודע, כישרון נטו, מסי. פיני איפה תשב במשחק? אני לא סגור על זה עדיין, אני אעדכן באינסטגרם כבר, אני אעשה כזה סטורי, אני בדרך כלל לא עושה סטורי, אבל אני אעשה. מה אתה חושב על העלייה של גליל עליון לליגת העל בכדורסל? כמה שנים הם לא היו בליגת העל בכדורסל, נכון? בבעלות שלי הם היו קבוצה קבועה בליגה. קוזמה או הצ'ימורה? אני מניח שקוזמה, הייתי לוקח את קוזמה. עומר שיחמן נרשם בתור תומך, תודה רבה עומר, מעריך את זה אחי. אתה מתכנן שאני לנסוע לאיזה משחק NBA? לא, לא נראה לי, לא נראה לי. יש לי ילד טרי ו... כן, אבל קלרמן צריך לבחור אחד מהם. תודה רבה עומר, תודה רבה אחי. הייתי כבר במספיק משחקי NBA, למי ששאל, הייתי במספיק משחקי NBA. כמובן שזה כיף, אבל זה לא משהו שעכשיו הייתי טס בשבילו עוד פעם. שוב, חייתי 4.5 שנים בארצות הברית, ראיתי הרבה משחקי NBA. הייתי בשני גמרים, הייתי בהמון משחקים של הניקס, של הנץ, והכל מהכל. פיני, גם אח שלך פותח חבילות? כן, שון אוהב פיפה, אני לא משחק פיפה. אתה עבור ספורט 5, לא. מה שאני הולך לעשות במשחק של מכבי תל אביב זה לא עבור ספורט 5, זה עבור ספורט באיכות גבוהה. אתה עובד עבור ספורט 5? לא, אני לא עובד עבור ספורט 5. אני משתף איתם פעולה, אני לא עובד עבורן. מה אתה אומר על גמר גביע ווינר סל? היה משחק כל כך חלש. אני לא חושב שזה באמת מדד, המשחק שהיה נגד אילת. כאילו, פתאום סורקין, אתם יודעים, היה נראה כמו איזה שחקן על, ואבנס, ראיתי ממנו כמה דברים שאהבתי לראות, אבל אני רוצה לראות איך זה מתבטא באמת ביורוליג. עכשיו, דווקא המשחק של מכבי תל אביב נגד באיירן ביום חמישי מגיע אליהם בתזמון הכי טוב שיכול להיות, כי באיירן מגיעה ללא כל כך הרבה שחקנים. אגב, למי שרושם על ים הדר, ים הדר היה משחק מאוד מאוד אנמי היום. המסיבת עיתונאים ממש אמורה להתחיל כל רגע. כל רגע אמורים לפתוח אותה. למי ששאל על המשחק של מדר היום, פרטיזן ניצחה 78-73 את זדר, כשים הדר קולע 3 נקודות, הוא זרק סך הכל זריקה אחת ב-15 דקות ו-45 שניות על המגרש, הוא ביצע 3 עבירות וסחט 3 עבירות. מעבר לזה הוא איבד כדור אחד, הוא לא עשה הרבה, אבל הפלוס מינוס שלו היה פלוס 7, ובמחצית הראשונה הוא היה השחקן ששיחק הכי הרבה בפרטיזן. הוא פתח את המחצית השנייה, ומשם הוא לא שיחק כמעט כל החצי השני, אני לא יודע למה, אני מקווה שזה לא פציעה או משהו. אבל זה מה שאני עקבתי באמת על המשחק של ים הדר הערב. אתה חושב שדני יחזור כמו שצריך? כן, אני חושב שדווקא העובדה שהוא נפצע לפני הפגרה, סוף העונה, נתנה לו את הזמן להחלים, לעבוד קצת על המשחק שלו, להתאמן ולהגיע בכושר טוב. חג שמח גיימינג בוי. שאלה, אתה חושב שטוב שלדני והוא יכול לגדול שם כי יש לו פוטנציאל, אבל לדעתי בוויזארדס הוא לא יכול לגדול ולהתפתח, אשמח לתשובה. אני מאוד לא אוהב היום את הוויזארדס בתור מקום שהוא יכול לגדול ולהתפתח בו, אבל זה המצב שיש. כמובן שיש מקומות שהייתי רוצה לראות אותו משחק כאילו מקומות אחרים שהייתי רוצה לראות אותו משחק בהם הרבה לפני, אבל זה המצב. הקים או דיוויד רובינסון, וואי, איזו שאלה. אתה חושב שרוי מושפע מהדברים שקיירי אירווינג משתף ולכן הוא לא מתחסן? זה באמת שהוא לא מתחסן. קודם כל קיירי אירווינג אני חייב להגיד שהוא כבר באמת שום דבר לא שהוא יגיד לא יפתיע אותי. הבן אדם לא מחובר, באמת הוא לא איתנו. מכבי קביליו יפו תורם $2 ורושם היי פיני, לא אוהד קבוצת כדורסל בארץ אבל רק נגד מכבי תל אביב. האם יש סיכוי שהם לא יקחו אליפות השנה? כל שנה יש סיכוי שהם לא יקחו אליפות, אני חושב שהפערים הצטמצמו משמעותית מהשנים שהיו אז, אתה יודע, לפני 10-15 שנה. היום מכבי תל אביב יכולה לאבד את האליפות כל שנה, אבל אין ספק שהם פייבוריטים ברורים. השאלה באמת איך ירושלים יגיעו לעונה הזאת, חולון, הם הקבוצות שלדעתי יכולות לקחת להם, אבל כל שנה פתאום יכולים להגיע זרים שהם מאוד underrated. אופה, הנה מתחיל המסיבת עיתונאים. יכולים להגיע זרים שהם מאוד underrated
Recording in progress.
רגע חברים, אני שנייה עובר למסך השני. לא, לא המסך הזה. המסך הזה.
Good afternoon, everybody. Those of you here in attendance and those watching on Zoom, remind everybody on Zoom to please mute during our media sessions and only unmute once you're called upon.
I'm on this thing, bud. I'm on this thing with Brad.
Yep.
Yeah, you sure are. We're kicking it live.
So we'll be calling on folks both here in the room and on Zoom. So again, just please, if you can raise your hand, we'll put you in the queue and unmute once your name is called.
טוב, מתחילים עם השאלות לברדלי ביל, כמו שאמרתי לכם. בהמשך גם דני יגיע, אני לא יודע מתי, בהמשך כל השחקנים כאילו שנמצאים כרגע במחנה אימונים אמורים להגיע. ממש רואים אותם חלש.
It definitely sucked for one, not to go, but I mean, I couldn't. That's out of everybody's control. It could have happened to anybody. It was an exciting opportunity for sure. That Sean Ford and Jerry Colangelo, kind of granted me, and I was a part of USA basketball since I was 15, and to have that opportunity to play on the national team was a dream come true. Not everybody has that opportunity, and not everybody is given that. And so many players are more than deserving of being on the team. It's very tough to pick 12 guys to go over there and win a gold medal for your country. So I was just thrilled to be a part of the team. I was honored for the role I had and, for the things I was able to contribute, during the exhibition time. I'll have an opportunity in the future, hopefully in Paris, to be able to go in the next 3 years. So I keep it alive. But on the flip side, I had a lot of family adversity during that time too, that, I was able to actually be with my family during that time. So it was a blessing in disguise in a lot of ways, so that's why I said it was a good memory, not bad.
מוזמנים אגב לרשום שאלות שאם אתם חושבים שאפשר לשאול את ברדלי או את כל אחד מהשחקנים בצ'אט. ואני לא יכול להגביר את הזום.
I'm definitely excited.
זה הווליום של הזום, זה נמצא אצלהם שם בוושינגטון.
Kind of get back to normal a little bit. It's a fun year for us. We have pretty much a new team, a lot of new faces, new coach, new system. So I'm definitely excited for the changes we'll have, and I'm excited for the depth that we have at each position now too. So it's an exciting year. Definitely bummed to lose Russ, who's we all know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But at the end of the day, to be able to see the pieces we got back, the depth and the experience too, I think that'll help us out tremendously moving forward. So, definitely will be some adjustments along the way. Everything won't be glitter and gold, obviously, when we come out the gate, but I think I like the pieces we can work with, for sure.
And sorry, I do not want to ask this question. Are you vaccinated?
Oh, I am not vaccinated. No, I'm not.
Do you care to share why?
Personal reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
טוב, אז הנה קיבלנו פה את הסקופ בלי שרצינו. ברדלי ביל לא מחוסן.
Brad, with the off season being so short, I know you in particular, every off season work on something to improve your game. So with the off season being as short as it was, what was it that you were working on to come back this year as even a better player?
I really focused on my body because I played a lot of basketball this summer. From the season right into USA, and then obviously not being able to go, but I still was putting some miles on my body during the summer, and then having to jump right back into working out after COVID and not being able to work out for a week or two. So that was definitely
הוא בטוח לא מסתלבט על החיסון. יהיה מצחיק לשאול אותו על הקלף קלוקי שלו, האמת שזה יהיה מצחיק.
The shape it was in at the end of the year and throughout the year. My game is all about confidence. Obviously, I continue to work on it and continue to try to perfect the things. Availability. So as long as I'm on the floor, I feel like I'm confident I can do a lot of things out there.
Brad, how do you think you've changed as you're so much a leader on this team now? I mean, Tommy mentioned the other day that even coaching your AAU team changed your approach or thoughts. Just how have you changed as you prepare for the season?
Well, I've always told coaches this, like I have a newfound respect for them in coaching because my kids drive me nuts. So it's definitely fun to be on that side, and also not fun because I'm like, okay, I see why coach is yelling at us. I see why he's like, okay, you guys don't get it. But at the same time, it's propelled me for this position. I'm a young old head. Like, if that makes sense, this is year 10 for me. So I'm definitely excited about the experience I have and the knowledge that I can just pass down and instill the guys. And we have guys who've won rings on our team now too. So we put all that together. It's not just me just running the ship. We have a lot of guys who are vocal leaders who have won too. So I respect that part of it and everybody's ability to contribute to our team. So I'm looking forward to the shoes I have to fill. They're definitely big ones, but I think I've prepared myself for the last 10 years for this, for sure.
Good morning, Brett. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Two-part question. With you being the leader of this team and whatever the NBA mandates and guidelines are going to come back, do you feel any pressure to be vaccinated, to be available for your team? And the second part, is there any scenario in your mind in which you do plan on maybe getting vaccinated?
One, I don't feel pressure. I don't think you can pressure anybody to making a decision about their body or what they put into their body. And I mean, we can have this conversation about a lot of different topics besides vaccines too. But yeah, you can't necessarily force anybody or, kind of, say it's time for a vaccine. I think you kind of let people come into their own about it. They do their research when they feel comfortable. They do it. I definitely think about it for sure. With the guidelines that the league makes and everything that the protocols are doing, they kind of make it difficult on us to where they kind of force us in a way to want to get it. But, at the end of the day, I talk it over with my family and we make a decision that we think is best for us, just like the rest of the world.
We talked to Tommy a few times this offseason, and during one of those sessions, he said that the moment he can
יש סקר, מוזמנים לענות עליו.
It's the same stance he had last time. Just as you get closer to that date, how are you feeling? How's the feel side?
It's the same as always. It's always going to be, what is he going to do? What is he, I leave that to Mark and Tommy and Ted. Like, you guys figure it out. I come out here and hoop and do what I do. Obviously, I have some say-so in that, but, I don't worry about a few days, but my biggest thing is getting us off going to a good start. We worry about the contract and money and all that later. I'll let them deal with it when the time comes, for sure.
כל מי שלא יודע, יש לברדלי ביל דירוג 89, שהיה לרוני טוקי ולאשתו ביף רציני על הדבר הזה.
Brett, you've got a lot of guys on this team who you not necessarily don't know super well, but have relationships with around your kind of same age, so you came up together. What do you feel like so far? Can you tell the identity of this team? What's it going to be like? How's the chemistry developing from that kind of point of view?
I think that's what we have to figure out, honestly. Like you said, I haven't played with a lot of the guys, but playing against them and, us kind of jumbling the team together. Like you can kind of have an idea of what we can be like and the type of team we can be. We'll definitely be athletic. We'll be fast. We'll be a push to pace type of team. Definitely athletic. We have versatility at, multiple positions. So it's very curious to see what our true identity will be. Obviously, I know Coach Unseld wants to emphasize a strong defensive presence better than what we had. And I know he's a genius on the defensive end too. So, we're just excited for that part of it, but it'll be an adjustment. It won't be, like I said before, just picture perfect from the get-go. We'll have to figure that out as we go.
Speaking of Coach Unseld, what kind of conversations have you had with him leading up to this point, and what do you think about the team going forward with him as the leader of the group?
One, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the opportunity he gets. it's his first go at it, and he's definitely put in the time and the work, and he has the credibility for it. So in that realm, I'm more than happy for him, and he has an opportunity, to come to a place where his father was, a big, huge, for.
בינתיים הוא עונה על כל מיני דברים גנריים, אז אני אתקן את כל מי שעוד לא שמע. דני יעלה בהמשך. בינתיים, לא יודע אם אתם שמים לב, אבל הוא עונה לעיתונאים שנמצאים במקום שם ולא בזום. הזום הוא הגיע אליו בהמשך.
He's a great down-to-earth guy. He's very humble, soft-spoken, and but at the same time, I guess he has a little fire to him. He has a little fiery edge to him. So I'm definitely excited to work with him, to play for him, and definitely be coached by him. So, hopefully we can get this thing going and keep it going for sure.
Coach Untitled mentioned we appreciate so much your defense.
I think it's because I'm on Zoom.
There's so many shooters or more shooters on this roster now.
Oh no, only the host can share it because screen mirroring is considered.
Curious about your take on that.
Oh, he's 100% right. I won't have to be able to make every play,
אני לא יודע אם דני מחוסן. לא, למי ששואל. בינתיים יש בעיית סאונד, אני רואה הוויזארדס השתיקו את זה. אתם יכולים לראות כאן למטה. לפי דעתי הם השתיקו את כל הזום בגלל שיש כאן אנשים שנמצאים בזום שלא השתיקו את עצמם. אחת הבעיות כאילו אחת הבעיות בדרך כלל מי שפותח את הזום הזה הוא פותח את זה וכולם ישירות מושתקים, וכנראה הוא הכניס את האנשים הפעם בלי השתקה אוטומטית ברגע שהם נכנסים. הנה, אנשים רשמו פה. מניח שתכף תקנו את זה. דני מחלים, הוא לא צריך להתחסן, אבל הוא מחלים מלפני...
Can we get Brad unmuted on Zoom?
אני יודע שדני היה חולה והוא מחלים, אבל זה היה מזמן, אני לא בטוח אם זה עדיין נחשב. חבר'ה, בינתיים אנחנו 650 צופים כאן, נשמח אם תוכלו לפרגן בלייק, להירשם לערוץ אם אתם חדשים כאן. באיזה עוד מקום תשבו בלייב ביוטיוב בישראל למסיבת עיתונאים עם ברדלי ביל? בינתיים הם עדיין משאירים את זה על מיוט, אני מניח שזה בכוונה, אני מניח שזאת לא טעות.
We can't hear Brad.
Can't hear you. Please fix this and allow some folks to record, please. Again, some people have been asking for recording access. Please grant that. Thank you.
אין מי זה הבחור הזה ש... נראה אם נמצא כאן. תראו, כל כך הרבה אנשים נמצאים שם. דיוויד אולדריץ'. כל כך הרבה אנשים נמצאים שם. ורק עכשיו לקח להם זמן להבין שהמשתמש היה על מיוט.
Oh, now you're muted, huh? Oh, okay.
We hear you, B.
Oh, okay. Okay, there we go.
Just got another vaccine one, sorry.
It's עליהם גם.
After press conferences last year, you always encouraged people to mask up, and it seemed like you took COVID very seriously. Mm-hmm. So, people would say that to take COVID seriously, but just get the vaccine. I know it's a personal decision and all, but are you surprised that the way, I guess, one, what's like the justification there, or like how do you kind of manage that, like still taking COVID seriously, but just not getting the vaccine? And then also this idea of like with NBA players, I don't know if you read the Rolling Stone article over the weekend, but that there seems to be like, for lack of a better word, an anti-vax herd among NBA players.
I don't give a damn about the herd or whatever it is. Every player, every person in this world is going to make their own decision for themselves. I would like an explanation to, people with vaccines. Why are they still getting COVID? That's something that we are supposed to highly be protected from. Like, it's funny that, it reduces your chances of going to the hospital. It doesn't eliminate anybody from getting COVID, right? So is everybody in here vaxxed? I would assume, right? So you all can still get COVID, right?
We're less likely to die or go to the hospital.
Okay, but...
מתן תלמור תורם 3.33 ורושם פיני שווה לשאול את אבדיה על ההכנה שלו לעונה הקרבה, על איזה אספקטים הוא עובד לקראת העונה הקרבה, מה הוא חושב על העובדה שהמאמן מתכוון. נתן, זה בדיוק מה שאני רוצה לשאול. אני רוצה לשאול גם על איזה דברים הוא יתאמן במהלך הקיץ, על איזה אספקטים הוא שיפר בשביל להגיע שחקן יותר מוכן, ומה הדברים שהוא מביא איתו לקראת העונה הקרובה.
Change your opinion one way or another, like did it kind of re-emphasize I don't need the vaccine because of that?
No.
הם נכנסים שם ממש לפינות איתו עם החיסונים.
That wasn't the case. I mean,
המסיבת עיתונאים שאתם רואים עכשיו לדעתי הולכת להיות, להופיע בהרבה מקומות אחרי הדבר הזה.
I mean, it's no different than somebody with a vaccine. Like yes, I developed the antibodies for it, so my chances will be less likely now as well, right? But it's still a possibility I may get it. Just like there are players and coaches and staff who are vaxxed and missing camp right now because of it. So
we'll take some questions from Zoom. Neil.
Hey Brad, good to see you. Pop and Draymond and people were calling you after they won the gold medal, congratulate you for what you were able to provide and help in that facet. Tommy described you as, you were going to take a very defensive standpoint on that team. What are some of the things you learned from there that you think that you might be able to implement here with the Wizards now?
Man, it's tough. I mean, those are...
כן, מי ששואל ברד, אני די בטוח שהוא מחלים.
That's two different teams. It's kind of like not fair in a lot of ways because you're comparing an all-star team to, regular NBA teams. You can't, the mentality and the approach to them are totally different. Obviously, you respect every, star that is there, their approach and their leadership and how everybody is able to sacrifice and take a step back. Everybody on that team was able to score 30 points, but we didn't need everybody to score 30. So everybody can go get 10 assists, 10 rebounds, but we didn't necessarily need everybody to do that. So on that scale, it was just, more or less kind of really getting a feel for, how it is playing with other stars, other guys who are really good and talented, and how do we sacrifice for the benefit of the team and coming together to win. Obviously you have that within your teams in the NBA, but, at the same time, our team is we're built up a little bit different than USA team, but I definitely carry over some of the, the leadership qualities and just attention to detail from Coach Pop and just a lot of the other guys and how they approach the game. Like,
אני אתקצר בהמשך בין לבין
כתדברים שהוא אומר. Implement them into your own, for sure.
Out of curiosity, do you know if you might be receiving a medal and or if not, what it means to you that, people are reaching out and say, hey, thank you?
I will not receive a medal. That is, that's a rule. I didn't play a game in the Olympics. So, I respect that 100%. And there's no ill will from me. Like, I'm not pissed off about it. I'm not mad. It's out of my control. It's out of everybody's control. Because like I said before, on the backside, it was a blessing in disguise in a lot of ways. And so, I won't get one, but I'm definitely happy for the team. And it meant the world to me to, to hear from Pop, hear from Jason, hear from Draymond, hear from all the other guys. And, them be excited for me like I was there. So that was definitely cool, for sure.
Thanks, Brad.
Christy?
Hey, Brad. Good to see you again. When you are trying to focus in on the identity of the team, how does it correlate to maybe having a baby and not having the name ready until the baby is born, and then you see the personality of the child, and then you can evolve from there in terms of the actual identity? How do you compare that to what the team is going through right now in terms of nailing down what you want as the team's identity?
That's tough. Because in a way, that's kind of how we are. It's like we're not babies, but that's a good analogy to have. You know, we kind of have to figure it out, you know, how it is on the floor. You can't just necessarily just, you know, throw a lot of talented guys together and think it'll work, you know? So there has to be, obviously we have to respect coaches, you know, his staff, one, and then two, his system. You know, we have to respect everything that he wants to put in and implement into our team. And we have to buy into.
כן, אני אשאל אותו בהמשך גם על 2K, כי זו שאלה נחמדה, אני אשאל אותו שאלה יותר רצינית, ואז אני אשאל אותו את השאלה השנייה, שהיא שאלה כזאת שוברת הקרח.
Relatively quickly, you know, and that's the reason for preseason and these exhibition games. And camp, you know, for us to be able to, you know, figure that out.
אגב, לכל מי שדואג, זאת לא שאלה שהיא חצופה, זו שאלה שהיא מכבדת, כמובן שנשאל אותה בצורה יפה, וזה, זה לא משהו שהוא יוצא דופן.
So it'll be some time. I'll go with the baby approach, Christy.
And just one last thing for me, with Wes Unseld Jr. holding the reins as the head coach, what do you see from him? I know he was here 10 years ago. Was that your rookie year? Did you guys overlap at the beginning when you came here to DC?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. No, I think he was gone when I got here.
Okay. But just with that, just when you said you're an old young head or a young old head, whatever you said, is it about the coaching of the AAU teams, or is it about fatherhood that you were talking about when you said kids don't really understand what I'm saying?
Coaching. It's coaching. My boys understand more than my AAU kids do. My AAU kids are frustrating sometimes.
טומי שפרד לא יהיה היום, וכן, זה באמת ישבור את הקרח, ועדיאל, אני יודע, אני מכיר.
I'm 28 years old. This is year 10 for me. You know, that's kind of a young old head, you know, in a lot of ways. I have a lot of years, but I'm still young. I still have a lot of fight and game left in me. You know, so I'm excited in that realm, and you know, I don't treat myself as a young guy. I'm very mature. I feel like I'm mature, and you know, it'd definitely be an adjustment, you know, being called the OG and being called the oldest guy on the team and all that, but it's what I've prepared myself for. You know, I feel like, you know, learning over the years from John and Trev and Drew Gooden and Al Harrington and all my vets and Jared Dudley and all these guys, like these guys were my vets, you know, and I had great vets that I can, you know, learn, that I had the opportunity to learn from, and now I can instill that stuff into my own team. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
Hey, B.
G Money.
How you
כן,
doing?
אורי, זה בדיוק המטרה. תודה רבה.
You mentioned that you worked a lot on your body this summer from a skill standpoint, and you played a lot of hoop. From a skill standpoint, anything specific that you worked on, whether it was your range, your three ball, you know, your ball handling, you've gotten better every year with specific skills, and obviously you're at an elite level right now, but what are some of the, you know, the basketball stuff that you worked on?
Honestly, everything, you know, me, I always feel like nothing's perfect. I always, you know, want to improve everything, ball handling, but I would say I paid a lot of attention to my range and trying to extend it. You know, I faced a lot of double teams and traps and overloaded defenses. And so one way to keep them honest is one, shooting deep threes, and, you know, two, getting off the ball earlier. So working on my reads and pick and rolls. And
שאל אותו מה הוא עבד בקיץ ואיך הוא שיפר את המשחק שלו. הוא מדבר על השלשות ממרחק, שלשות העמוקות, שהוא צריך לשחרר את הכדור יותר מוקדם. בול הנדלינג, ברח לי המילה בעברית, שליטה בכדור, קריאת המשחק.
Depth obviously is an important factor. You've been here for a while, and on paper, you know, with the moves that they've made based on the Russell Westbrook trade, this looks on paper like a real deep team. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because chemistry is a hard thing to put a finger on, and with every NBA team. But it looks like, you know, you got shooters, you got rebounders. Is this the deepest team, or one of the deepest teams that you've played on since you've been here?
Oh, for sure. It definitely is. And like you said, it's I've said it earlier, like we have depth, like we have playmakers, we have shooters, we have bigs, but we can't just throw it out there and think it's going to work. We have to figure it out, how we mesh and how we gel the right. It was good knowing that we have the pieces we need, to be able to compete on a nightly basis to win games. So it's just a matter of us, one, buying into, like I said, buying into the system, buying into bettering each other on a daily, creating that competition in camp, because I think that carries over to the games. We create that competition in camp. We know that we're ready to go to war and go to battle with our teammate when it's time. So I think the camaraderie and the competition, the depth that we have, I think it's beneficial in so many ways.
צאו מנקודת הנחה שברדלי ביל יהיה השחקן שידבר הכי הרבה כאן, יחד עם ספנסר דינווידי, אני מניח.
Hey Brad, Scott Abraham, ABC7. Good to see you as always. Obviously, the whole vaccination debate, that's your personal choice, but this is probably not going to be the last time you're going to get asked these questions. Are you worried that this is going to be maybe a distraction for you, the team going forward, and how do you plan on handling this? Because obviously, in this COVID world, everybody wants to talk about the vaccination question.
Yeah. One, it won't be any pressure from me or from my teammates or anybody.
שוב שואלים אותו לגבי החיסונים. אביב, תודה רבה אחי. התגובות, הצפיות, הלייקים אחי לא פחות חשובים, לא יותר חשובים אחי. תודה רבה. הלייב היום יהיה ארוך, כן.
Protocols and things in place to make sure that we're taken care of and we're tested, regularly. So
צאו מנקודת הנחה שרוב הסיכויים שאני בכלל לא אגיע לשאול את ביל במסיבת עיתונאים הזאת. סיכוי גבוה.
I guess, do you understand, both sides of the coin, the perspective, because of this question and of this debate? Obviously, it's not an easy situation for you because you're a role model in the spotlight. Do you understand, the whole...
נתן, רשמת פה נקודה יפה, ואני חושב שזה כבר שם. מתקרב לשם.
Yeah, I have family. My mom and dad are vaccinated. My older brothers are vaccinated. My sister-in-law is vaccinated. I know people I have people that are very close to me that are vaccinated, just as well as I have people that are close to me and related to me that are not. So it's a fine line. It's a personal choice between everybody. 100%. Like, I understand both sides of it. Like, I understand that there is a percentage of people who can get very sick. I didn't get sick. I didn't get sick at all. I lost my smell, but that was it for me. Everybody's going to react differently. I mean, some people have bad reactions to the vaccine. Nobody likes to talk about that. And what happens if one of our players gets the vaccine and they can't play after that, or they have complications after that? Because there are cases like that.
אני גם חושב שהוא מחכה לשאלה שלי, כן. השאלה על-2K.
Because they're so minute, maybe, but I mean, they are existent. So it's like I said before, we can talk all day about it. Everybody's going to have their own opinion. Everybody's going to have their own timing and comfort of when they feel like they want to meet those criteria or needs, or feel like they want to go through with getting the vaccine.
Appreciate it, Brad. Thank you.
No problem.
Good time for a couple more, Brady.
Hey, Brad. To start building chemistry together.
For sure. I mean, I've hung out with a few guys. I've had a few guys over to my house, and we've hung out. We've gone out to eat. We actually have a team dinner tonight. So it's just we do things. Went to the Giants Washington game a couple weeks ago. So we just do little things to kind of build it up. And Coach wanted us all here, after Labor Day, and everybody's commitment to doing that was great, and be able to have everybody buy into that. That's always a good sign. And obviously we'll have the year to continue to build that up, but so far we've done
תודה רבה ירין. כן, האמת
שגם
לי קצת נמאס לשמוע על החיסונים, כי בסופו של דבר...
Some of your personal goals with us this season.
Always get better.
זה מה שרציתי לשאול אותו.
What is that? I don't have numbers, honestly. Just continue to push yourself, continue to be better, be a better team. I want to win. I want to win the right way and do it here, and I think we have enough. So it's just we have to get it done and continue to push and do that. So I know I'll push myself. I hold myself to a high standard. I criticize myself more than anybody. So I know I'll be ready to go. I just have to make sure that my team is locked in and we're ready to go on a nightly basis.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah.
Last question, Quentin.
Good, B.
כן, אז אני לא אשאל
would you say this offseason is the most you've played 5-on-5 in your 10 off seasons or so in the league? And if so, why did you decide to really go all out with like 5-on-5 basketball? Because I remember like talking back a few years ago, you said you're not really into off-season basketball and stuff like that. You're more like in the gym working your own grind.
I would say, I want to say no, but I have to say yes because of USA basketball. But I would say no on a like I still didn't play a lot of pickup this summer. Like the videos, I might have played 2 or 3 games of pickup this summer. Like, and then when we came, obviously here in DC, we play a little bit too, but it wasn't a lot. It still isn't a lot. Like I don't. That's a tough one because.
שון, לא, פה צריך להיות מנומסים. אני לא אהיה מנומס והתפרץ פנימה, יעיפו אותי בשנייה.
You always try to avoid those things, but when you know you have competitive guys, you know, who go hard and know how to play the game, you know, you want to get out there. You get out there and compete. So I definitely have my moments, and that helps you get in shape because you can't, like, you sprinting is not going to get you in shape. Like actually guarding somebody, running through screens, you know, they get you in proper game shape. So, you know, doing a little bit of that in the summer helps, you know, and it kind of gives you a feel for where your game is too. So those are my reasons of utilizing it.
And forgive me if I didn't hear this as in the arena, but there was a report that came out this morning that Russell Westbrook tried to get you to also ask out of DC in that trade. Would you like to comment on that or clear anything up or deaden that?
הנה, סוף סוף מישהו שואל את זה. סוף סוף מישהו שואל את זה.
This happens every year. You guys know that. Like every players are going to talk, and you know, Russ decided he was going to do what's best for him and his family. And I wasn't there. I wasn't in the same headspace he was. So it was a respectable decision. It wasn't like, oh man, after that, you want like, no, I love Russ to death. Russ, like we had a great conversation leading up to it. Many of great conversations leading up to it. And he made a decision that was best for him. It was definitely, we were in a place of limbo for a minute. We didn't have a coach. We didn't know what was going on. Like it was definitely, it was a little rocky, you know? So him going into his 14th year, you know, he's looking like his time is ticking. So he wants to, you know, be on the championship contending team now. And I respected that. Like, I'm not sitting there saying we may be holding up the Larry. Like, yeah, we made some great moves. We made a lot of great moves. But he made the decision that was best for him. So I respected it. I'm happy for him. You know, he gets to spend his career, hopefully finish his career in LA, where it's his hometown. But
הוא ממש יפה. באמת, הוא ממש יפה.
I'll keep him between us, but you know, more or less, he's there and I'm here.
Appreciate it, B.
Yeah.
לכל מי ששואל, הוא שאל אותו על מה שהתפרסם ממש כמה שעות לפני מסיבת העיתונאים הזאת, על זה שראסל ווסטברוק וביל, דווח על זה שראסל ווסטברוק ניסה לשכנע את ביל לעזוב את וושינגטון בטרייד ולבקש גם כן טרייד לקבוצה אחרת, וביל לא היה מעוניין. הוא ענה ממש יפה, הוא מדבר ממש יפה, הוא אמר שזה נעשה בצורה מכובדת, זה היה בתקופה שעוד לא היה לה מאמן, שסקוט ברוקס לא היה, ראסל ווסטברוק רוצה להיות בקבוצה שהיא מתמודדת על אליפות, ברדלי ביל לא היה באותו state of mind, ובאותו זמן לא רצה לעזוב, אז הוא לא זרם איתו, ועשה את זה בצורה מכובדת, והחליט להישאר. כן, הוא באמת אחלה מרואיין, כיף לדבר איתו במסיבות עיתונאים, הוא רגוע, הנה, קלדוול פופ עכשיו. אגב, יהיו פה שחקנים אחד אחרי השני, אני לא יודע מתי דני יגיע, הוא יגיע בשלב מסוים, הם שולחים אותם, אני לא יודע באיזה סדר, הם לא שלחו לנו סדר לפני כן. בינתיים חברים, אני אשמח אם תוכלו לפרגן בלייק, להירשם לערוץ, ואני מזכיר, ביום חמישי יהיה לנו כאן את הלייב מההיכל של מכבי תל אביב, במשחק של מכבי תל אביב נגד באיירן, קונספט ראשוני שאני באמת צריך את העזרה שלכם בו, אם תוכלו להגיע, לפרגן, להיות בצ'אט, להיות אקטיביים, לתת לייקים, הכל. זה פיילוט שהוא חדש ואני מאוד מאוד אשמח אם תוכלו לעזור לי, להראות שביוטיוב ובערוץ הזה יש עוצמה. אוהב אתכם ותודה רבה. עכשיו סיבות העיתונאים אחרי המשחקים, יהיו גם חלק בזום והם שאלו, כן, אביב, כן, גם אחרי המשחקים זה יהיה בצורה שאנחנו רואים עכשיו כרגע.
Open the communication up, for me to do so, and I like that.
Coach has said that the player relationship is one of the things that's most important to him. How has he reached out to you? Did he start kind of over the summer, but what's it like having that open communication? Can you elaborate a little bit?
He started when I got traded. When the trade happened, I think it was a day after it happened. I got a text and a phone call. We talked a little bit, just to welcome me. He was excited. I was excited. I actually told him I was waiting on his phone call, but it's been good, just knowing I can just reach out to coach at any point, and we just.
הורדתי את היד ושמתי אותה מחדש, שאני אהיה מאחורה, לא יודע גם אם ישאלו לשאול אותו, למרות שאני לא יודע, אין לי בתכלס מה לשאול אותו יותר מדי. אני מכיר יש לכם איזו שאלה מעניינת. אולי מה הוא מביא בתור שחקן ששיחק בקבוצה שהתמודדה על אליפות ולקחה אליפות, לקבוצה כמו וושינגטון.
With the guys and kind of see what there is to offer. Where do you feel like your role is, and then also with the leadership on this team? You're obviously one of the more experienced guys. You got a lot of kind of young or mid-career guys.
והנה שאלו שאלה דומה עכשיו. מה הוא מביא מהניסיון שלו? כי הוא מגיע כניסיון.
My main role is going to be more vocal leader. I mean, I would say. I mean, I know I'm gonna compete every night. 3-and-D, that's my game. I'm going to add a little more that I've been working on this summer. Not too much. But just going to bring the competitiveness, their leadership, and just a championship mentality here. Try to get guys on one accord, do things on the court and off the court, together as much as possible. I feel like if we can build that chemistry,
אני אשים לכם פה שתראו איתי, וכן, יכול להיות שאני אעשה קצת ספוילרים במשחק של מכבי במגרש, כי זה יהיה באמת בדילי אפסי.
You mentioned the championships and having the chance to play with the Lakers, with LeBron, with AD. What did you take away from that experience that you think you can bring here?
Like I just said, trying to build that chemistry. I feel like that championship team that we had, we pretty much did everything together. It was from dinner, movies, just to invite to like guys' house, things in that nature. I feel like the more we can just spend time together.
אגב, בינתיים לא עברו 2 דקות מהרגע שזה נאמר במסיבת עיתונאים, וכבר אני מקבל הודעות פה ממספר דיווחים שברדלי ביל לא מחוסן, ועושים מזה פה באמת סיפור גדול מאוד.
We can crack on each other, and still take it, and laugh with it, and not take it personal. I feel like that's going to be, key for us, as far as just trying to get to know each other. It's here now. We gotta go.
So speaking of that, with the relationship, it's been talked about a lot. Your relationship with Brad and how far back it goes. If you tell us, what is that relationship like, and how did it form?
עוד לא יודע באיזה סדר הם עולים למסיבת עיתונאים.
Through the AAU circuit.
דבר היחידי שידעתי שברדלי ביל עולה ראשון.
I never played with him. I always played against him. And that was even when we got to college. Then just as far as like going to all American games, Jordan Brand Classic, just being there, seeing him. We talked almost every camp. We seen each other. He lived in St. Louis and I was in Greenville, but we didn't get to see each other that much outside of that, outside of basketball. But we grew a friendship, through basketball, and it just carried on. And it's special. I feel like the relationship we have is special. He know me, I know him. We know when not to crack on each other when we needed when we just needed someone to just talk to. He's always been there, and I just can't wait to play with him. It's gonna be fun. I told him that last night. It's gonna be fun, man. Take some pressure off him.
Davis, welcome to DC. I'm Dave Johnson, the Wizards radio. Looking forward to spending time with you.
Same.
just say that it's going to be fun. Having said that, what does excite you about?
לכל מי ששואל לגבי החיסונים, כל עניין החיסונים הוא נאכף ב-NBA על פי כל סטייט וסטייט בנפרד, זאת אומרת ה-NBA לא מחייב את השחקנים להתחסן. הסטייטים, בגלל זה ויגנס לדוגמה שלו בעיה בקליפורניה, הסטייטים, הקבוצות צריכות לציית לחוקים שבאותו סטייט.
compete and just going to have that competitive mentality. So everybody is hungry. And I play with most of these guys, Spencer, Trez, Kuz, and just knowing Brad, I just know like that mentality that we're gonna bring it's gonna be fun just to play out there. We're gonna and making it fun. Just not worrying about too much. Taking it game by game.
כן, ביל חלה לפני טוקיו, וכנראה בגלל זה הוא כן יוכל לשחק. לא יודע מה יהיה בהמשך, ואני מניח שבשלב מסוים ה-NBA יצטרך גם לגשת לעניין הזה באופן יותר גורף, כי הרבה שחקנים, לא מעט שחקנים, במיוחד השחקנים גדולים, לא מתחסנים.
Seems like you kind of need to learn how to do that as a veteran. What have you learned throughout your career about what it takes to be a good wing defender in the NBA?
First off, leave the referees alone. Just try to, I feel like from my experience, personnel, you got to watch a lot of film on who you guard or who your matchup is going to be. Know their weaknesses, try to force them to do much of that as possible. No, you're not going to make them do it as much because they great players as well. And for me, I just try to, contain, stay in front. If I can stay in front of my guy, I can get a great contest. So that's my go-to. And then what I look for is mainly just his jersey number, in the middle of his chest. It's not going to move. So if I'm watching that, it helps me out a little bit. I got little tricks, a lot of stuff that I use, to make that happen. But just, I would say just more personnel and watching film, would be the best, way to learn a player and get to know their tendencies and stuff.
Basically, what should we know about Kyle Kuzma that maybe people don't immediately know, since you obviously know him better than any of us do?
He's very fashionable.
Well, we knew that.
I know that, but something that you...
מסתלבטים פה על קהל קוזמה. תשאל אם כל חברי הקבוצה כבר נפגשו פעם אחת לפחות. כן, אני יודע שהם נפגשו, זה גם היום שהם נפגשו בו, היום יש מדיה מהבוקר בערך ביחד.
So, that's one thing Kuz does paint. He showed me some paintings. He done a lot in the bubble when we was in the bubble. Actually pretty nice. Not bad for a starter. But I didn't know he could paint, so it looked good. So I would say that's one thing.
Artist. He's an artist.
Somewhat. not I wouldn't call him an artist. My 9-year-old is an artist. Kuz, no.
How about the same question about yourself? What do people not know about KCP?
They don't know. There's a lot you don't know, but I would say a lot. One thing I like to draw. That's how I taught my son, my 9-year-old son, how to draw a little bit. Now he's gotten better.
באמת שרציתי לשאול אותו שאלה, אבל כרגע כבר שאלו שאלות דומות.
One thing, yeah.
אחרי אין לי באמת יותר מדי מה לשאול, כל השאלות יהיו מאוד גנריות כאלה.
And that's one thing me and my son have in common. We does. I sit and draw with him a lot. So, yeah, pretty much. Well, I wouldn't say clear my mind because I got 3 boys and they run it's 24 hours. So it's always nerve-wracking. But I got a lot of patience though. I learned a lot of patience. Just being there, just hearing it, the noise and the complaints and all that. It's a lot of patience.
Would you like Criminal Minds? Is that correct? Did I read that show?
I love Criminal Minds. I do.
The journey to be a better defensive team, which is such a focus here. The other day, Tommy showed us that sometimes it's just, one or two possessions a game can change the direction of the team. What's your philosophy on trying that? Because that's
yes, defense does win games. I feel like the more we on one accord, we're gonna make mistakes on defense, but as long as we do it at an effort, 100%, we're gonna have guys covering for that mistake, and I said it, I said again, like once we can have that chemistry and like we can be a unit, I know defense is gonna be easy. One guy makes a mistake, we got a guy help him, then the next guy helps. It's all a chain reaction. And the more that the chain stay together, the better we can be, I would say.
We'll take a few off of Zoom. Dan.
KCB, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Hope DC's treating you well. Curious, kind of when the trade went down, were you surprised? Did you expect it? I know your status in LA has always been sort of shaky because of the short-term deals, and I guess any reflection on your time in Los Angeles?
It wasn't a surprise. At some point I knew it was coming, because the 4 years I was there, I was always in trade talk. So eventually I knew it was going to come. So it wasn't as surprising, but I was shocked, So, that's pretty much it.
Did you say me? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. When you said that you were going to take pressure off of Bradley Beal, what specifically did you mean by that? Does that mean taking some minutes away so he's more fresh down at the end of the games, or are you talking on the offensive end?
I know that might not happen. Taking minutes.
Rotational minutes.
Just giving him the rest that he needs. As far as like I want to say he won't have to carry the load on the defensive end as much. Where he has to be doing all that running around. He can exert his energy on offense. Also analytic of my game on offense. Scoring the ball, which I can do. A lot of people don't know. Also, I am a good playmaker, which a lot of people don't know as well. Just stuff here and there, man. I know, he's gonna have, his shine. He's gonna do his thing. Just being there, at the right times when he need me. Taking that pressure there.
לא שמתי לב שהייתי על מיוט, אבל אני הורדתי את היד, אני מוותר על לשאול אותו.
And with the championship mentality that you bring to the floor, what 3 things do you want to see materialize and evolve for the team with that in mind?
3 things I want. I would just say 3 things I would want to see.
לא כל הלילה יהיה ככה, כי
getting that chemistry together,
יש לנו עוד איזה 10 שחקנים שאנחנו צריכים לעבור.
Being able to communicate with each other, on and off the court, no matter what it is, try to, build that unit, and also just playing for each other. We all here to do the same job, to win games, eventually get to that championship, but play for each other. The more we can do those 3 things, I feel like the better we're going to be as a team.
אני חושב שבגלל שלא הספקתי לשאול את דני על הדירוג את ברדלי על הדירוג שלו בטורקיה, אני אעביר את השאלה לדני. לא על ברדלי, על הדירוג של דני.
KCP, you talked about, the brotherhood and wanting to be able to kind of self-police each other. How have you seen, that work out so far, early on in your guys' runs, and what's the key to continuing that throughout a long season?
It's gonna take a lot of hard work. I've been on both sides where I've had it I didn't have it in Detroit, where we didn't, really wasn't a brotherhood, but we talked. It wasn't as much, for it to to be to get where we need to be. And then in LA where we talked every day. We was out for dinners. Got invites to pretty much everything.
כן, הוא באמת אומר כל 3 שניות, מילת קישור באנגלית שמשתמשים בה הרבה. בטח שאין לך את ה... זה לא אנשים שרגילים בהכרח לדבר מול קהל או מול מצלמה.
The more we can just talk to each other and be around each other is going to help.
KCP, how are you? Hey, Milwaukee last year added Drew Holiday and PJ Tucker, which brought physicality defensively to that team and just some ruggedness. And when you guys won the championship with LA, everybody talks about chemistry on offense.
דני עוד לא היה חברים, דני יהיה בהמשך. אני עוד לא יודע בדיוק אחרי מי.
You won a chip defensively that the Lakers did that year, and what are you going to try to bring to the Wizards with that in mind?
הנה, הוא שאל בדיוק את השאלה שרציתי לשאול בכל מקרה.
Like I said it earlier, where like the championship run we had, the defensive side was
דומה לדווייט האוורד, לא דומה לדווייט
that
האוורד.
chain reaction. Everybody was on the same page. Everybody knew what it took, to get that championship. We was all on the same page. We was gonna if my teammate man got beat, if he got beat, it was somebody there to help him, and then there was someone to help me, to help the helper. So like we all knew what it took, and then also having AD, and LeBron on your team helps.
לא חושב שאני אספיק, עדיין, אני לא חושב שאני אספיק. רציתי, אבל לא חושב שאני אספיק.
They was on it every day, from the start, from training camp. They was on it. They preach, one accord. We got to be on the same page. Everybody got to play for each other. Everybody got to have that same drive, championship only. And when everybody bought into that, it changed everything. We became the #1 defensive team, regular season and playoffs. So the more we can do that, I feel like we can do it here too. We got a lot of young guys that wants to compete.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all. Thank you.
מסכן פרנקמנטה הבלנדו.
קני.
הנה קוזמה עכשיו. קוזמה נראה לי שחקן שצחוקים איתו בחדר הלבשה.
What's up, man?
How we doing? Good.
First of all, we had I guess I'll start with this. What are your early impressions of DC? Because the last time we talked to you, you said you were kind of looking forward to settling in and living in a new city. Just kind of, how's it been getting settled as you start training camp?
It's been great. I got my house in order now. I haven't really done much exploring or being adventurous. I kind of really just been where I live and to the gym. So because it's a lot moving. This is my first time being in a situation to really get traded and going through it and that whole experience. So getting my house in order, that's been good, and just trying to adjusting to this pace of life because it's much different.
We had a long conversation with Bradley Beal earlier about vaccines and just how much of a deal they're going to be this NBA season. Just what do you kind of make of how things are developing so far in terms of it playing such a factor?
Well, I think at the end of the day, no one really knows how things are going to go. America doesn't know. The NBA doesn't necessarily know because this is, uncharted territory. We've never, in our time in society, haven't really gone through, this type of, viral type of situation. So, I think NBA has done, the best job they could in the past, going from the bubble, and also last season of,
ממה שאני מכיר את קייל קוזמה ומה שאני ראיתי אותו משחק, קבוצתי זה לא דבר שאפשר להגיד עליו ולהשיג במשחק שלו.
To those precautions, they slowly change. Some change drastically overnight. We started with 2,000 and 3,000 fans, and some states had. It just tells you that, it's kind of a waiting game, and just figuring out as we go along with life. So.
I thought he was going to ask, so I didn't have to. Are you vaccinated?
That's personal. It's personal. Yeah. So. Mm-hmm.
And we kind of asked you this before when we first talked to you after you got traded, but now that you've kind of seen these guys out on the floor, what do you feel like your role is going to be? You guys are obviously kind of without Rui right now, so that might affect, something on down the line. We're not sure about that, but what do you feel like you want to get done on this team? What do you feel like you can get done?
I want to be a leader. I think.
הנה עוד פעם שאלו את השאלה שרציתי לשאול אותו.
And really studying them and really watching them, their every move. When I think about guys like LJ and Rondo, and, how they're able to just connect with everyone on a certain type of level, whether that's friendship, business, work, whatever, and to really just try to enhance that and make everyone better. So, that's just my main thing. I want to just come out and, bring to this organization and this city is a winning culture and just that leadership from a winner's mentality. So.
Kyle, Justin Kutcher, I did a play-by-play on TV. So first of all, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
You can clear one thing up. How tall are you?
6'10".
Okay.
Yeah, 6'10". Mm-hmm.
Your skill set, you have, I think people know that you have a certain skill set and it's very, very special.
Mm-hmm.
When LeBron was injured, you were able to shine. Now coming here, it's the first time you've been traded.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting used to it, but is it in a weird way you look at this as like a blessing in disguise where you can finally show what you can do at 6'10" for a team?
It got to the point where I was in LA for 4 years, 4 marvelous years. Got a lot accomplished. Coming in as a rookie sophomore player, and, had a certain type of role and really expanded and really developed really well. And then Anthony Davis comes and rightfully so, heading to the bench to a smaller type of role to sacrifice and win a championship, which we did. And that was the ultimate blessing.
מגיע לוושינגטון, לפי דעתי, בשביל בסופו של דבר לקחת את המושכות, אחרי שהוא הרגיש שבסופו של דבר הוא פרח בהתחלה בלייקרס, ואז הגיע לברון, הגיע AD, והוא נדחק לפינה, הוא שיחק בעיקר בעמדה 3, והיה שחקן ספסל. הוא מגיע כאן בשביל להיות שחקן משמעותי, והוא יעשה הכל בשביל לייצר נקודות בשנה הקרובה, שזה משהו שהוא לא בהכרח טוב לקבוצה ולדני.
Really just wanting to become a good defender like how AD is. So, those guys helped me out a lot. And for me, wanting to get traded and being in a type of, really spread my wings and develop at, a certain type of trajectory, that I was on to prior. So, it's great. It's exciting. And, obviously I know how to play the game of basketball, and I'm just excited to continue to improve and, just get better every single day. So.
Also welcome to DC. I'm Dave Johnson of radio.
תודה רון, חג שמח, וצאו מנקודת הנחה שחלק מהשחקנים שאתם רואים כאן היום יכול להיות שבקרוב לא יהיו כאן, אולי לא במחנה אימונים, מחנה אימונים בטוח יהיו ויפתחו אותו, אבל סיכוי לא רע שחודש חודשיים בתוך העונה כבר יהיו טריידים.
I think that in this game of basketball, it's probably 80% mental, 20%, from a physical talent standpoint. Everybody in this league can be a star. It's all about, kind of like fit and opportunity, right? So, off court plays a big role into that, because you're only on the basketball court, 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day. So what are you doing the rest of the day? So, whether that's taking care of your body, getting massages, being in the cold tub, stretching, going over mental rehearsals of, what you're planning for that night, getting ready for practice, getting ready just to, have a certain type of energy and spunk, it all takes account, and it's all important when you're trying to become a great athlete.
You tweeted yesterday, I'm assuming you were watching the Lions game.
Yeah, it was.
Lions game?
No, I'm not a Lions fan, no.
Oh, you are?
I retired. Yeah.
Well, team here is not much better. So I'm just curious to see if you want to expand on that. Just like, what do you like about NFL player turned media analysts? And then you weren't talking about us, none of us play the game. Just how they, I don't know, I guess, what kind of sparked that for you?
I'm a big football fan. I watch football all the time. I grew up playing football, and so I'd say I'm pretty in tune with that sport, and from all type of angles. From watching the game, but also growing up watching sports channels, and looking at certain type of reporters, right? And not certain type of reporters, more so, how each sport is, completely different from the way they're talked about, right? So if you look at football, you look at guys, all the great players that turn into analysts, they do a phenomenal job of really, teaching the game and just reporting it from a standpoint of, true craftsmanship. That's the word I like to use, because they're straight to the point. They're not, they're not bashing people. They're not trying to get jokes off. I mean, they might get jokes off, but
אפשר לייצר רימיקס מדהים מכמות העיונות שאמרו בשני הרעיונות האחרונים.
They just do a great job of really, making sure that the average fan that doesn't really know much about the sport, to educate them on. And I think that's something that a lot of NBA guys that go into the analyst world, they could do a better job of. They could definitely do a better job of, because basketball is a great sport, football is a great sport, but the average fan, they might just only know about points per game, and that's all they care about. But if you look at football, you look at a guy like Teddy Bruschi or Randy Moss.
אני חושב שאף אחד מהצ'אט עכשיו או מהצופים כרגע לא יוכל לראות אף ראיון באנגלית מהיום והלאה בלי לשמוע את הדבר הזה כל שנייה. עשיתי לכם ראיונות באנגלית כל החיים.
Defensive coverages are, they really break it down. And I feel like the great sport of basketball is missing that. And I think it would be very important to, kind of get that for the future of the game.
Sounds like you're up next.
Say it again.
Okay, for our job. It sounds like
No.
Yeah, just down the line.
No.
KCP was talking about your painting a little bit. I'm sure you talked about it before, but when and how did you get into that?
אני מת מהצ'אט פה.
Artist, you stopped right short of calling you like an artist.
Well, I mean, I think that
רק בשביל שתבינו, כל השאלות כרגע שנשאלות זה אנשים שנמצאים באולם, ולא אנשים שבזום רק אחרי זה עוברים לזום, וזה בסדר, שלא יתנו לי לשאול את קוזמה או את ברדלי ביל, זה הכל טוב.
So, for me, being an artist is something different than what you may call artists. Like, you may think an artist is someone that is, professional or top notch, but, for me, art comes in all types of forms of life. So, that could be, me just painting, but, I like fashion. And I like to, wear certain type of silhouettes and clothes. And
קצת חושב שאם אני צריך לשאול עכשיו שאלה, אני אתחיל לצחוק תוך כדי.
No different than basketball. Kyrie Irving is an artist in the sport of basketball. So I would call myself an artist just because I like to, I have meaning to it, and that's what artists do.
Kyle, going back to your talk about football and analysis. I was lucky enough a couple of years ago to have Karan Butler as one of our analysts. And Karan talked about his time with Kobe.
Yep.
And he said the first time on an airplane, he went back and he asked Kobe what he was doing, and Kobe was watching film.
Yep.
And Kobe's like, have a seat. And he just formed a relationship with Kobe based on that one thing. He said Kobe taught him so much. Was there something that you learned about watching film, about preparation from LeBron or AD or someone else that just has stuck with you and helped you propel to where you are right now?
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm a film addict. And I wasn't there at one point. You know, when you're a young player and you come into the NBA, a lot of things are foreign to you. And, you know, in college, you may watch film. And, you know, my second year in the NBA, you know, blessed enough to be around Rajon Rondo. And that dude he's unreal. You know, the way he approaches the game, the way he thinks about the game, the way he watches film is, you know, it really just intrigued me. And, you know, I want to be as great as I can be. And that's one of the things that really, you know, took, you know, my IQ and the way I see the game to a different level. You know, prime example, no matter what time it was, you know, we'd watch a game or we'd finish a game, you know, you finish a game around 11. I don't really go to sleep until, you know, probably 2 or 3, just because I'm still up from the game. And, you know, Rondo, he would call me because, you know, we had that type of relationship, and that's still one of my brothers today. So he would call me at 3 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. And this is when I'm first now really kind of getting into film, right? And he'll call me and be like, yo, what you doing right now? I'm like, I'm watching film right now. And I really was. I wasn't trying to bullshit. I wasn't trying to bullshit him. And I really was. And he was like, all right, cool. Fast forward, third quarter, 4 minutes left in the game. What do you see right here? And that's something that's just stuck out to me. Like, this guy's in his, like, it might have been his 14th year, 15, something like that. I don't remember what year it was for him, but he's been in the league for so long, and he's still just like that's engraved into him. It's his DNA. It's what makes him so smart. What makes him so great. And you know, that's something that's just really always stuck with me.
יובל, כן, אני רוצה לעשות סרטון מכבי תל אביב לפני המשחק הראשון ביום חמישי.
Times, like, you know, this whole September we've had you know, a lot of open runs with the team, and the guys are here, and I'm always asking for a film of just the open gym just to watch. And you know, it's just something that I really like to do, and it just helps me out. You know, it's you know, film gives you the answers to the test.
You mentioned being a film addict. If you weren't in the NBA, be coaching basketball. So,
coaching?
Yeah. No?
Nah. Once I'm done, I'm done. I'll go on to something else.
But yeah, obviously you have that approach. What do you hope the Wizards, if you were, you know, not into coaching basketball, but what do you hope this team looks like? This is.
I mean, we're a young team. I think that's one thing that, you know, obviously sticks out. But, you know, we have a good blend of guys that are that experienced as well. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say totally veteran, but, you know, seasoned players. So you look at guys like Bill, obviously he's a vet, superstar player. Spencer's been in the league for years. KCP's been, I think he might be year 7 or 8 or something right now. You know, me being seasoned in year 5, and Bertans and Neto and guys that can really help these young guys just really, you know, just turn up their learning curve. And I think that's the biggest thing.
משהו שאני לא אוהב זה שכל הרעיונות, כל הרעיונות של שחקני הוויזארדס עד עכשיו, הם מזכירים את כל השחקנים ואף אחד לא מזכיר את דני. צריך לשים לב לדברים האלה. אף אחד לא מזכיר את דני.
So in that department we have like a lot of work to do.
זה כמובן לא רק מהיום, זה משהו שאני עוקב אחריו מהרגע שהחבר'ה מהלייקרס הוצגו בוויזארד לפני בערך חודש.
You know, kind of fresh juice around here. So I think the biggest thing is just obviously gelling, understanding our strengths and weaknesses as a team and individually, and then also applying what coach wants us to do on the court, and you know, letting that stick and marinate. So. DA. How we doing? You good? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
I always wonder what happens when a guy gets traded, just kind of mentally how you kind of recalibrate. You're in one headspace, you're in one place. You have a certain set of expectations because of the people you play with and coaching style of play. And all of a sudden, that has to be completely shifted because you have a new set of teammates, new coach, new philosophy. How do you kind of reset your head?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to reset, well, it was multiple things, but for me, the biggest thing was, just really processing, like moving. That was the biggest thing for me because, living in LA for 4.5 years, that's all I know. And, that's home even to today. I have my homes there and that's where I live in the off seasons. But I think from a basketball strategic standpoint, I was happy to go just because I know what I can do in my career and what I want to do and want to accomplish. But, there definitely are some changes. I think that, there's been a lot of times, and the coaches have, implemented a little bit of the terminology from a defensive standpoint. And I keep getting caught saying, what we've done in LA for years. And I'm messing up guys sometimes when I'm yelling, a certain type of call for switch or, to get into a pick and roll coverage because it's just ingrained in me. So that's a process, but, that took about 2 weeks and I'm pretty good now. So.
הוא נשאל בינתיים על הטרנזישן שהוא צריך לעשות מהלייקרס לוויזארדס, מבחינת שיטה שונה, שחקנים שונים, משהו שהיה רגיל אליו מהרגע שהוא נבחר בדראפט ללייקרס.
He's top 3, 4, whatever you want to call it, top offensive player in the league. He's a guy that's averaged 30 in this league and has averaged over 27, 28 for multiple years. So, obviously when you have a guy like that and someone that's super, super explosive that can take over games and really, cause a lot of havoc on opposing defenses, it's going to bode well for you. And, I think we have great guys to, mesh within what he does. And, that's what it's about, so, playing with other star players, I kind of know how to, figure it out and mesh in.
אני מניח שאחרי קוזמה, למי ששואל, אני מניח שאחרי קוזמה יהיה את ספנסר דינווידי.
I'm very excited. I feel like
אולי אחר כך את מונטרזרל, ואז יכול להיות שדני יגיע.
young guys and seasoned guys to
צום נקודת הנחה ששחקנים כמו דני, ראול נטו, הצ'ימורה לא יהיה, אז גם יהיה לו פחות שאלות, אבל שחקנים כאלה יקבלו הרבה פחות תשומת לב מאשר קוזמה, ביל, קלדוול פופ, הרל וכן הלאה.
Out here, and good luck with everything in DC. I have a question. I know you said that the vaccination thing for you was personal. When people hear that, I think they automatically assume, okay, well, that guy hasn't gotten vaccinated. Are there reasons, or can you think of personal reasons why you wouldn't want to share it, even if you have? Is that part of the calculus when we hear that? Because we either hear guys say that they've got it, they haven't got it, or it's personal. And I think people always lump the personal into, well, they didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when this is the same thing when you're in the media and somebody as a player has some negative thing around them, and you ask that question, and they go no comment. You all automatically.
זה עניין, שוב, מדברים בינתיים על החיסונים. מה שאמרתי לגבי דני, זה העניין שהשם שלו מוחבא, כי יותר מבחינת השחקנים החדשים שמגיעים מהלייקרס גם, אני מניח שלא מכירים אותו, אבל לא מדברים עליו. בכל מסיבות העיתונאים מדברים על הצ'ימורה, מדברים על כל שאר השחקנים בקבוצה. אף אחד כמעט לא מזכיר את דני בשום מקום. קצת מדאיג.
Because one, how the world is now today, it's much better to stay as private as you can, if that kind of makes sense. And, that's not a bad thing. It's not a wrong thing to ask for. So, certain players may go about that in their life because of that simple reason. And, I don't think it's no right or wrong to that. So.
Thanks, Kuz. Good luck, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
אמיר שכטר, תורם 15 שקלים. תודה רבה, אמיר. תודה לך גם. חג שמח. טוב, חתכו את זה מהר. אני רואה שלא נתנו לחבר'ה בכלל מהזום לשאול. שגרת לארצות הברית גם כל שנייה אמרת you know, לא, להגיד כל שנייה you know זה יותר סלנג כזה, איך נקרא לזה? אתם שמתם לב שהכתבים דיברו, הם כמעט ולא אומרים you know כמו שקוזמה אמר, או קלדוול פופ אמר. יותר דיבור שכונתי, הנה, וכמו שאמרתי לכם עכשיו מונטרזרל.
A couple years. I didn't say you're a rookie. How many years? You still in that rookie deal? You're a rookie. Rookie, brother. You're a rookie, brother. Still love you, y'all.
Welcome back. Welcome to DC, man.
Thank you.
I just asked Cool, like when when a guy gets traded, you coming from a certain place with certain expectations, coaching staff has a certain way of coaching things, players that you're playing with maybe have different expectations. How do you recalibrate, reset when you're...
דיוויד אולדי שואל את אותה שאלה שהוא שאל את קוזמה, שהוא מגיע ממאמנים שונים, שיטה שונה, איך הוא עושה את האדפטציה לוושינגטון.
I ain't in that same boat of schools. I was traded first time from Houston to the Clippers, so it's not nothing. And looking to do anything I can to help my team win and put myself in the best position to be able to be on the floor to help them do that. I don't look at it any differently that I went into that process with, really. You know, this is my first time playing on the East Coast, being on a part of an East Coast organization. So 3 hours from my hometown, home state in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So my family's going to be up here a lot to watch me play. I'm excited and I can't wait to, get started.
Do you know that, like, as soon as you hear it, you're going to the Wizards, you automatically know, oh, I can help them do this. I know I can do this for them. I know I can do, or do you have to wait and see?
I got to wait and see because, I mean, at the end of the day, man, we don't even know what our lineup is really going to be, man. We know only one person that's going to be out on that floor for sure, and that's Bradley Beal. Everybody else around him, it's still up for determination. We got a brand new coaching staff. We got new coaches. It's new, a new floor field throughout this whole organization, man. So we're going to have to do it together.
If it is a bench role that you end up settling into, you've had obviously a lot of success coming off the bench, 6 man of the year. What has led to that? What are the keys to being good off the bench?
I'm going to look at it the same process and the same mindset I looked at it when I won and when I was in the argument the year before, honestly, man. I'm blessed to be able to be around veterans that know how to play that role. I had one of the best guys who might go down in the history to ever do it, win the award, and Lou Will. And he's a best friend, a guy that I talk to on a consistent basis and somebody I look at as a mentor. So I got the tools around me that, just basically put me in a position to be able to know how to handle those type of things, really. And I just, became a complete sponge and, jail to it, really.
מרגיש ששמונט רזרה זה שחקן שבקלות, בצורה אחרת, אם הקריירה שלו הייתה מתפתחת אחרת, היה יכול להגיע לאירופה.
I would agree, because, even when we've been playing pickup, he's been doing his, basically his job of coaching us on different type of things he wants done as far as the defensive end for sure. Offensively, we're still going to have to learn and going to have to gel with, multiple pieces being inserted into different positions. But on the defensive end, he definitely has, came in early to set the tone that, this is how we want to play defense. We don't want to be one of those teams that continuously think, we're going to just try to outscore teams and not going to have to guard nobody. So it's definitely one of the biggest things that we're, he's definitely focusing on for us. And we need those type of things, because when you're in a situation like this with, new players, new coaches, new organization almost, really, it's going to take a collective group. It's going to take everybody. And it starts with the head coach. And just for him to be in there while we're, not really technically have to be in here, but he's, in here early with us showing us. He's bought into the organization there and the program, just like how we are.
And I'm wondering if there are kind of vocal leaders who have already emerged just...
למי ששואל, דני עוד לא היה וקפטן הוק עוד לא היה. חברים, אני אשמח אם תוכלו לפרגן בלייק, להירשם לערוץ אם אתם חדשים כאן, לעזור לנו להמשיך באמת לייצר את התוכן הזה. לייק קטן, זה חינם.
The low-key guys on this roster, do you feel like someone's going to kind of emerge or a couple people are going to kind of emerge as the big talkers?
I don't know, probably me, honestly.
That's good.
Honestly, probably me. I don't know. I'm one of those guys who, I don't really bite my tongue as far as nobody. I don't really care who it is, honestly, because, when we're all out there on that floor, it's all planned for one goal. It's all planned for one mindset to try to complete one task. So there's no egos or there should be no feelings tied into it out there. And, I think these guys know that I'm going to be a person that, plays with.
רועי וייס, תורם 15 שקלים.
רושם,
how's it going? אם היה כזה של זה היה מתאים בול עכשיו. תודה רבה רועי.
In this league, really. Now I just think I'm going to be able to do it in a more role to where my voice is heard a little bit more. I mean, I've been in locker rooms where I was able to have my input on certain situations. I definitely think definitely a lot with the Clippers.
you know, before we got the 2 star player guys that we got there. But, you know, I've been in situations to where I know how to do it. Every player is different. Everybody's role is different. But, you know, like I said, it's still going to be up for coach to kind of determine those type roles. But amongst each other, I think we're going to kind of, you know who is who.
Justin Kutcher, I did a play-by-play on TV. So first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Really happy to have you here.
אתם רואים תשובות שלהם מאוד גנריות על העובדה שהם... תכף אני אדבר על זה.
Learning from Lou Will about what it means to be coming off the bench and being that sixth man. What is it that he taught you, that he said to you, to be that sixth man?
You see him winning the year before?
Yeah.
You see me win the next year?
Yeah.
Guess he said the right things. I mean, he's a guy, just look at his career, man. He's a guy who's been in this league. I don't think he's had a max contract, but you always hear his name. He's a guy that hasn't been on a team where he started, but you always hear his name. So he's just a guy basically that learned how to basically, you know, he didn't put himself in a position of where he's coming off the bench. That's what the coaches put him in. So he said, if y'all going to put me in this position, then I'm going to be the best at this position. I'm going to excel in it to point to where now you're going to have to give me an award every year for it. And I can't do nothing but respect it because I know him off the court. You know, I know the father he is off the court. I know the brand ambassador, the hard work he puts in his craft, you know, not just the basketball game, but as a, you know, businessman. I mean, Lou is a very smart, talented person, man. A lot of people think just because he's, you know, missing in songs about having 2 girlfriends and all that stuff like that, man. That man is extremely, it's the reason why he's missing these songs. He's an icon, legend, and, you know, and it's really a reason why he's called the underground GOAT. It's a reason for that.
For you, going back to college and then being in the NBA, you've been undersized, but you always seem to rise to the occasion. What is it? Is it playing with a chip? Is it something else? How have you been able to exceed and always perform up to a certain ability?
I don't know, bro. I'm a dog, bro. I ain't got no other place to put it, bro. I don't really, all that height stuff and, you know, rankings and all that, I mean, it really don't matter, bro. You got to prove that once you get inside these 4 lines. That's where I came from. That's why it's the only way I've known how to be able to play the game. You know, I'm born and raised 3 hours from here, man. And that's what it's taught me. Like, we don't really care what your name is. We don't really care who you are. Once you step inside those lines, you got to prove that you know, is the person that they say you is. And a lot of times,
שמתי פה בינתיים סקר, מעניין אותי, תענו עליו בבקשה, מעניין אותי לדעת מה אתם חושבים.
Once you pull that card, there's a lot of stuff that gets, you know, exposed to the light. And can't nobody save you when you're inside them 4 lines. Can't talk your way out of that. So, like I said, bro, I'm just different. I mean, I look at myself as a dog. I don't look for nobody to give me nothing. I don't look for nothing to be handed to me. I'm going to take what's mine.
Dave Johnson, you do the radio play-by-play. Again, welcome to DC as well.
Thank you.
Given what you were just talking about, as you look at this collection of players you've spent time with, them, what excites you most about the potential that Syracuse did?
Because we got a great group of guys, man. We got a mix of guys that are supposedly veterans, I guess. You know, because I'm looked at as a veteran. I'm only 27. KCP is looked at as a veteran. I think KCP is like, 28, 29. Brad is one, like the same age, man. Then we got a lot of great young guys, man. Aaron is one back there, man. He's only been in this league for 4 years, but he's had a hell of a career in Indy. And I hated him while he was there, by the way.
אבי ביטרן תורם 4.69 ורושם, גרמת לי לחזור לראות NBA, תודה רבה ותמשיך עם העשייה. תודה רבה אבי, תודה רבה אחי, איזה כיף.
You know, that's what we're okay with that. We're not coming out
here saying, אני אתרגם אם יגידו משהו מעניין, כזה עשיתי את הסקר הזה.
Keep overlooking us, keep, you know, writing us off of however you want to do it. We're fine with that. We know the work that we're going to put in. We know the work that we have been putting in, you know, leading up to this training camp in the previous weeks. So coming in, playing pickup, lifting weights and stuff. So we're not really asking for nobody to, you know, put us nowhere. We're going to put ourselves in positions to, you know, be whatever we want this team to be, really.
כן, אם אני יכול בין לבין אני אתרגם, יהיו דברים מעניינים.
This year, obviously, it seems like vaccination status is shaping up to be a big storyline. There's different rules for vaccinated and unvaccinated players. What do you make of all that and how it could play such a...
I don't know, brother. It ain't got nothing to do with me, honestly. I got vaccinated throughout the season last year, and that's all that matters. Everybody else has their different beliefs. Everybody else has their different reasons why. That's on them. I mean, I can't tell nobody that he's wrong for not getting the vaccination because this man feels his God-given right or his God-given belief that he shouldn't have it. I'm not going to tell him that. That has nothing to do with me. I got vaccinated because I have two smaller kids. I'm traveling around. I have an aunt who's on dialysis and things like that. I'm not going to run the risk of taking this virus, this disease into a space with them and then causing them to get sick. I'm not going to do that. So the reason why I got the vaccination is to protect. Gets or why he doesn't, that's him. That's what you got to ask him.
You answered my second question.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that you really hated Aaron when he was in Indiana.
Yes.
Do you? Are those the guys you want to play with? Then?
Yes, 100%. Because I mean, I go throughout the league and even playing in Drew leagues and playing pickup and Rico pickups. Man, I come across some of the NBA's best that say the same thing about me. So, I mean, that's the type of people that you want on your team.
הוא מספר כאן על אירון הולידיי, הבחור החדש שהגיע מאינדיאנה, שהוא שנא לשחק נגדו והוא מאוד רוצה לשחק איתו.
You know, he left it all out there. You ain't gonna never have to second guess or be like, you know, was he playing hard tonight? Was he, you know, trying to do the right thing to win? Like, no, you know for sure that he was trying to do those things because he showed it and proved it to you, you know, and that's all I've seen from him. Like I said, since, you know, competing against him. Like I said, I couldn't stand him in Indy. Hell of a pest, man, up and down the floor. He's one of those guys that, you know, honestly, I look at him as, you know, one of those Pat Bev type players. Going to get up, press you full court, control the pace of the game, both ends of the floor. I mean, he's a hell of a young player, and I can't wait to just get out on the floor and, you know, us to start proving and putting together.
Do you tell him that the first time you meet him, or you like, man, you know the shit out of me?
No, I didn't say anything to any of these guys, man. I kind of just like I said, I'm one of those guys that kind of sit back and kind of, you know, let the, you know, room kind of gravitate to me, man. Everybody knows that I'm gonna be the same guy Monday through Sunday, man. I ain't gonna really change up. You know, I ain't gonna shoot you no lie, but I'm not gonna be the one to kind of come in and just start there, you know, engage the conversation really. But you know, when the start get going, you know, you're gonna hear me in the room.
כן, אז הוא מדבר על אירון הולידיי שהוא סצנה לשחק נגדו.
I didn't hear who was called, but Trez, can you tell us about the Trez one that's coming out or that's already out and just takes that process of you and Devlin's relationship?
All right. Much respect for seeing that too, bro. But it was a year process of just going back and forth talking about concepts and, you know, different shoes that I kind of gravitated to, I liked, and, you know, what I would kind of, you know, want to see in my shoe. And, you know, it was like I said, a year process of just going back and forth doing that, basically images, you know, sending him different shoes and circling different highlights of, you know, I like about the shoe, what I don't like about the shoe. And, you know, kind of going back and forth, just really just communicating through text messages. But the thing that I really admire the most about our conversation or about our whole, you know, business in general is just because how he went about us doing the business. Anybody else out here doing shoes of a celebrity, I guess you want to call it, or a person in my stature was to reach out to you and be like, hey, I want to, you know, do this with you as far as shoes or whatever. Instantly I'd jump, hey, let's do it. You feel me? But no, this man, he stuck to his principles. He said like, hey, like, you know, I respect you reaching out. I'd rather to see how you feeling about the shoe and if you're really serious and if it's really going to be worth the both of our time, because I really don't want to waste neither one of our time. I can't do nothing but respect a man like that because he didn't let the, you know, stature of my job or the person that I am just make him change his principles. You know, he stuck to his principles and, you know, like I met with him, man, he came down with his wife and his kids, man. We had a great meeting. It was amazing, man. And, you know, like I said, over this year-long process, man, this is what you have, the end product of, you know, what I just been posting on Instagram and social media, man. I can't wait to really get it out there in the mass production. I think we're going to try to have it out there by Christmas, but definitely in the start of January. So it's a big accomplishment for me. It's a big, you know, change, honestly, because, you know, you don't see players doing this. I think the last person you've seen doing this was the Ball family when he came in with, you know, doing Alonzo and all them shoes. But even with them doing that, it was great movement and definitely one that opened my eyes because something I had been looking at, but they didn't even really stay in doing it that long. You know, I'm looking to do it to the point where I really, you know, become a household name into the sneaker world and, you know, hopefully actually get other, you know, NBA hoopers in my shoes as well.
Appreciate that, Trez. It's a nice shoe, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Trez. Thank y'all.
טוב, הם שוב נותנים רק שאלה אחת לזום כאן. לדעתי זה כי הם רוצים כבר פשוט לתקתק את זה ולהעביר הלאה. אין לי בעיה עם זה. הכי חשוב שבסופו של דבר שכשדני יגיע אנחנו נוכל לדבר איתו. לא מאמין שהביאו את אירון הולידיי לפני שהביאו את דני. את אירון הולידיי באמת אין לי מה לשאול.
I heard too. Man.
What are your just first impressions of getting on the floor with these guys and kind of how the chemistry is coming together so far?
It was exciting. First time playing since we lost to the Wizards actually last season in the playing game.
נניח שאלה יהיו רעיונות קצת יותר מהירים מאשר מה שהיה עד עכשיו.
To get started in the season and I'm excited for what we have going forward. We have a bunch of great group of guys who work hard, just give it their all, even in pickup. So I'm very excited to get started.
What does a new space, a new team, whatever, do for a young...
חשבתי שהביאו את דין ווידי, הייתי מבין אם היום מביאים את דין ווידי עכשיו, אבל... כן, זה אח של ג'רו הולידיי ממילווקי, זה אח הקטן שלו.
Both. It's a chance for a new start for sure. In Indy, didn't go the way I wanted it to, obviously, but again, it's a learning experience. I have the same goals, which is to be the best I can be, help my team win as many games as possible, and really play great on-ball defense and help defense. Those are things that I really think I could bring to the team and
זה אומר שאולי יהיה הרבה זמן לנו לדבר עם דני ישירות, אז צריך למצוא עוד שאלות מעבר למה שמצאנו עד עכשיו. תרשמו בצ'אט.
I'm one of four in my family.
All right.
And we always talked about it whenever we had Indiana last year in Milwaukee, that you and your brothers, all three of you guys are in the league. What was it like growing up in that house and how competitive was it?
Extremely competitive.
כן, יש גם את ג'סטין הולידיי.
All the way up to my parents, my cousins. I have a sister who's 3 years older than me. So we just competed, and that's probably what molded us into who we are today. So it was great getting out there just playing against each other all the time.
Obviously, your brother won a championship in Milwaukee.
איתמר, לשאלתך לא בניתי סוכה השנה.
It was awesome. I actually have two brothers who have championships now. So the first one was the same way. It's a great experience for me just getting out to he was with the Warriors at the time, Justin was. So yeah, it was a crazy experience. I enjoyed every bit of it, and then being able to go out there to Drew's with Justin, that was just a great family experience.
And then the last question I want is how much trash talking goes on between all of you?
Not really, not much trash talking. I mean, we're just all happy for each other, honestly. We can care less about all the trash talking, but we're just happy to be out there and play.
על האספקט הקבוצתי מחוץ למגרש, אני לא חושב שהוא יענה לי יותר מדי כרגע, כי הם לא באמת מכירים עדיין אחד השני, הם עוד לא פגשו יותר מדי אחד השני מעבר לשלום שלום, ובאמת איזה מפגשי כאילו מפגשים ראשוניים כאלה שהם מאוד מביכים בדרך כלל.
I had to obviously grow up playing against Justin, Drew, and my sister, who are all older than me. So back in the day, they were all bigger than me. So I had to obviously do what I can to stay out there and just try to get some wins or some baskets or just get the ball, like playing 21 or something, you know. So I guess it could come from that, being a pest, trying to be physical with them and just try to win.
As this team tries to get better on defense, obviously you play against this, this is a new team, a new collection. What do you think are the key components of a defensive journey? Because it's not going to happen overnight.
It's not, but Coach West does a great job of communicating us, and having a good structure is one main thing that we need. Just the simple base.
בינתיים בזמן שהוא עונה תשובות גנריות, הוא מדבר על זה שהעובדה שהוא גדל עם ג'סטין וג'רו, שחישלה אותו מאוד, כי הוא היה צריך לנסות בתור הקטן יותר, לנסות באמת להשיג את הכדור ולנסות לנצח אותם, שזה היה לו קשה וחישל אותו. ואני רוצה להזכיר כי בינתיים, התשובות כאן, כמו שאתם רואים, מאוד מאוד גנריות. רוצה להזכיר לכם חברים שביום חמישי אני משדר לייב, צפייה משותפת, מהמשחק של מכבי תל אביב. אני אשמח אם תוכלו לעזור לי, להגיע, לצפות, לתמוך בצ'אט. זה פיילוט ראשוני, פעם ראשונה שמנסים דבר כזה. אם זה ילך חזק, אני אמור להחליף שם את הרדיו של פעם, גלגלץ, רשת בית וכל הדברים האלה. נקבל עמדה קבועה. אני כבר עכשיו יש לי כניסה קבועה למשחקים של מכבי תל אביב, אבל אמורה להיות לי עמדה קבועה, ואני אשמח באמת אם תוכלו לעזור לי בזה. יום חמישי בערב, מההיכל, לייב פה בערוץ.
Man, it could do a lot. Again, I'm excited for this season because of how good we can be defensively, and I know we can score with anybody in the league. So once we get our defense down, I think we'll be pretty good.
ביט ברל תורם $2 ושואל איזה שחקנים היו, והאם כבר שאלת מישהו פיני לניצחון?
Yeah, it's nice, it's awesome.
היה את ביל, קוזמה, הרל וקלדואל פופ, ועכשיו אירון הולידיי הוא החמישי, עוד לא שאלתי אף אחד.
It's pretty dope. I'm enjoying it for sure. What'd you say? Yeah, for sure would take it. For sure.
Just real quick, you talking about your brothers and your sister and just the way you handle yourself and the way all of you guys handle yourselves. What was it that your parents drilled into you as kids that have led to you be these great adults?
Just the belief in God. That's probably the main thing they installed in us. We're all Christians, so we believe pretty much God's will be done.
רותם, אני הולך לשאול אותו שאלות דומות, והמטרה היא בהמשך כן להביא שחקנים, מאמנים ואנשים לראיין בהיכל בלייב. המטרה היא גם שלא רק אני אביא אנשים לראיין, אלא גם תהיה אינטראקציה עם הצ'אט. כל המטרה בסופו של דבר להיות בהיכל, של לעשות את הלייב הזה, שתהיה אינטראקציה, כל המשחק עם הצ'אט, זה המטרה המרכזית כאן, לייצר איזושהי חוויה שהיא שונה עם האווירה של ההיכל.
Aaron, you talked about it with Raul and, Spencer. You obviously want to have, a role here. How do you feel that you can, carve out minutes in what might be a, tight rotation with all the depth with Coach Unseld?
It's not my job to discuss, honestly. I'm just here to hoop. So however Coach decides to play us, that's how he decides. I'm going to go out there and play hard whenever I can. Appreciate it.
אוקיי, אירון הולידיי, אמרתי לכם, זה יהיה קצת יותר קצר. השחקנים האלה, גם עם דני, אני מניח שזה יהיה קצת יותר קצר. אני חושב שאני העיתונאי הישראלי היחידי כאן, אז בכלל, אני לא יודע אם בכלל יודעים שאני מישראל ויתנו לדבר בעברית, אני מקווה שכן, אם לא אני אתפרץ, כי אפשר לשבת בצד עד רמה מסוימת, להתפרץ בצורה מכובדת. לרגע חשבתי שזה דני, אבל זה קורי קיספרט.
Fades away in the past and the dust is settled. Kind of, what do you take away from it now looking back?
Yeah, I mean, it was a shock to me. I mean, it's going to be this way in the NBA too. How quickly you have to prepare for games, or how quickly you have to, get ready to play. You'll have a day, maybe 2 days, or even 12 hours to get ready for a team in the NBA, and that just wasn't the case in college. So, kind of was thrown into the fire that way with some of the hurdles we had to jump over as a team in summer league. And it was a good kind of test run for what's coming this year.
What are your objectives, your approach as you enter your first NBA training camp?
I'm just trying to be who I am, be me. It's gotten me this far, and I hope to, have it carry me for the rest of my career. So no plans on changing anything up, just going out there and playing as hard as I can and let the chips fall where they may.
You might answer that a little bit just then, but have the coaches said, okay, here's what we want to focus with you in year one or the first 6-month block or whatever like that? Have they kind of given you guidelines and this is what we need to tackle first?
Not really. I mean, thankfully there's nothing like extreme. It's all just kind of, honing in on certain parts of my game that I'm probably going to use more than others and perfecting those.
כן, זה הרוקי החדש. אהלן שפר, מה העניינים? ברוך הבא ללייב.
I've been on the floor and in the gym a lot, and I've seen strides even since I've gotten here a couple weeks ago.
Have you been able to latch on to anybody yet and just be like, great, I'm going to follow you around, I'm going to learn from you, you're my guy?
Yeah, so Anthony Gill is a maniac. Yeah, he works so hard, and whether I'm going to still enjoy it or not, 5 months from now, he and I do some conditioning after practice together. So I see how much he runs around, how good a shape he's in, and I want to be exactly that way.
Corey, you played for Mark Few at Gonzaga. There are certain coaches that seem to develop guys for the NBA. What is it about Coach Few that you think helps prepare you for what's ahead?
Yeah. I think it's just the way he plays, you know. I mean, he puts you in, he's really good at putting you in spots that you'll be successful in. He only wants you to do, you know, what you're capable of. He's not asking you to do anything crazy. And I think, you know, the way that we played last year was
תודה רבה דניאל. בינתיים הוא מדבר על התקופה שלו קצת בקולג'ים, בגונזאגה. אני רוצה להזכיר לכם, הבחור הזה הוא יותר מבוגר מדני, הוא שחק 4 שנים בקולג', אז הוא היה בחירה 15 השנה, הוא קלעי והוא ישמש בתור 3&D, למרות שבחלק ההגנתי יש לו קצת נחיתות ביחס לשחקנים אחרים, אלא אם כן הוא יוכיח אחרת. לפעמים הדברים האלה מתורגמים בצורה טובה ב-NBA, אבל המטרה שלו תהיה שחקן שמרווח את המשחק. בגדול, גרסה אחרת אמורה להיות בעתיד יותר משודרגת לדוויס ברטנס.
That if you go in the gym and you sit in the corner
וכן, אנטוני גיל עדיין בוושינגטון.
700, 800, 900,000 shots, like what's that doing for you, you know? You know, so if I can get in here for 45 minutes, work my tail off, get up a really good sweat and shoot game shots, like even if I shoot 200 of them, then that's going to do way more for me than getting 1,000, you know, catch and shoot standstill ones. So it differs day to day, but it's never, you know, I'm working hard while I'm shooting. So it's about 45 minutes or so.
לא ידלגו עם דני, אני ארשום להם בצ'אט לפני השיחה עם דני.
You know, if you were still in college, you wouldn't be starting practice for another couple of weeks. Just how has this transition been with so much going on from a maniac to summer league to you're already working out before training?
Well, I want to clarify. I mean maniac like in a really good way. You know, yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, obviously that's a lot going on. How are you?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I like before I got here, and even, you know, while I was here, I felt like I've been living out of a suitcase for like 2 months. And it was tough. It was tough to bounce around and be in different places and, you know, sleeping in different beds and stuff like that. It's something that I'm just not used to. So now that I'm here, I do feel like I can settle in. And, you know, thankfully we've been in town for a while. So there is a routine. Being here is familiar. And, you
כן, מי ששואל, אני הולך לשאול את השאלות את דני בעברית. דני עוד לא היה.
Hitting the ground running.
We have asked you a few times about Rui. Unfortunately, he's not here. Just, I guess, what are your thoughts on just the fact that one of the key players on this team is not here?
Yeah, it's just, well, first of all, it's just yet another example of how much more goes into a basketball player than what they do on the court, you know? And there's so much goes on in Rui's life from a very young age. And even while I, you know, had the pleasure of playing with him at Gonzaga, there was just so many things going on that, you know, would be hard to juggle. So, I mean, whatever and however much time he needs is what he needs. And, you know, he'll be back with us shortly, and I can't wait for it. And circling back to your question, I can't wait, you know. Rui's been my guy for a long time, and we played together for a long time, and can't wait to kind of pick up our chemistry where we left it in Spokane.
גם מדבר על קצת הסיטואציה עם רועד שימורה, על זה שהוא לא נמצא בגלל בעיות אישיות שלו, ואומר שהרבה דברים קורה לו בחיים האישיים שלו, וכמה יש בחיים של כדורסלן מעבר לרק מה שרואים על המגרש.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about, you know, at the end of the day, like it's our job to be on the floor. So, you know, whatever you think is best for you. And
בינתיים תומר וייץ תורם 4.20 ורושם, מה העניינים פיני, אני ממש אוהב את הערוץ שלך, מה אתה חושב על הסאגה שיש עם התיאוריית קונספירציה של קיירי אירווינג שקורית עכשיו? אני חושב שזה משהו שהוא הרבה יותר עמוק, פשוט קיירי אירווינג הוא הקול היותר קיצוני של השחקנים, כי הוא קצת לוקח את הדברים באמת לצורה קיצונית, אבל שיש שחקנים שלא מוכנים להתחסן ולא רוצים להתחסן מסיבות כאלו ואחרות, ולא רוצים שיכריחו אותם להתחסן בשביל להגיע לעבודה שלהם. שאני יכול להבין את זה במובן מסוים, בעיקר לאלמנטים פוליטיים, אבל יש בדבר הזה המון פוליטיקה.
Coach West said that you really have looked good since over the summer, since you've been drafted. There was that gap of time to get yourself prepared for now. What areas do you think you've improved in during that short period of time, you know, and including summer league?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it could be really easy to kind of let yourself slip with all the traveling that you're doing. You got to do everything you can to stay in shape, show up here in shape and ready to go. And thankfully the formula has always been pretty simple for me. Like I'm not trying to, overhaul anything or overcomplicate stuff. And I have something that I have routines and stuff that I stick to. And, I just kind of stayed in that zone up until I got here and was able to kind of, like I've said earlier, hit the ground running.
כן, לכל מי שרושם על קיירי, בסופו של דבר קיירי מייצג, שמים אותו בתקשורת כי הוא גם אחד השחקנים הכי גדולים שמדברים על זה, וגם כי הוא מדבר את זה בצורה הכי קיצונית, והוא אמר הרבה דברים מאוד קונספירטיביים ומאוד שטותיים בעברו, זה לא פעם ראשונה, אבל יש שחקנים כמו שראיתם במסיבת עיתונאים הזאת עם ברדלי ביל, שמדברים על זה שהוא לא רוצה להתחסן מסיבות כאלו ואחרות, וזו זכותם.
I played a lot of basketball. Played a lot of games.
או שזאת לא, אבל בינתיים ה-NBA נותן להם את הזכות להחליט על זה הכוונה.
I feel like I've seen just about everything that you can. Yes, the athleticism goes up, the speed of the game goes up, the talent goes up, but fundamentally it's all, it's the 10 feet high and the free throw line's 15 feet away, so just a level of maturity that I think, the learning curve will be a little less steep for someone like me.
Thanks.
Neil. Hey, Corey, good to see you again. Obviously, there are some really good shooters on this team. Brad, Davies, Kuz. Have you guys gotten a chance to do any shooting drills and try and outdo each other?
Nothing formal yet. We have plenty of time to get that done and make that happen. And I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Let us know when it's happening. We need that on film.
Cool.
And forgive me if I pronounce it wrong, Fracamente. Not there? Okay, Andrew, go ahead. Andrew Gillis.
My bad, sorry, couldn't hear you there. Corey, you mentioned kind of adjusting to the speed of the game. Obviously that kind of changes. Is it just game action that, kind of acclimates you to the NBA level? I mean, is there anything you can do kind of out of game to kind of help you adjust with that?
No, I mean, you can watch all the film you want, but as soon as you step on the floor, it just becomes different. So, playing pickup and just moving and
ויש לי בדיוק את השאלה הזאת בתור שאלה שאני רוצה לשאול אותו, זאת השאלה הראשונה שאני רוצה להתחיל איתה.
Someone new like me is just getting on the floor and playing pickup and getting up and down.
Thanks.
יובל תורם $2 ורושם אלן פיני חג שמח, מתי דני? אני מקווה שעכשיו, הוא יכול להגיע ממש הבא בתור, אני לא יודע, לא נתנו סדר של שחקנים שהולכים להגיע, מתי כל אחד הולך להיכנס, אז זה יכול להיות עכשיו, זה יכול להיות גם עוד חצי שעה, באמת לא יודע. ערוץ הספורט כבר הוציאו כתבה על מה שקרה פה עכשיו. זה דני, לא, זה דוויס ברטנס, אני חושב. כן, זה ברטנס.
What is going into this training camp like compared to last time around? Obviously, this last offseason was so short. There were some challenges getting started. How are things different for you now?
I was here before Labor Day, so that's, I guess that's the biggest difference. I've had plenty of time to acclimate and get used to being here again, and I think that's the biggest deal. And getting on the court with guys playing 5-on-5, that's like you can't beat that right before the season.
Yeah, what has that helped? As far as your game and your conditioning, I would imagine it's a.
האמת זה מעצבן שהם לא נתנו בדיוק רשימה של מי אמור להגיע פחות יותר מתי.
That basically took half of the summer to get that right. Then I played with the national team a few games and yeah, then a couple more weeks at home, just individual work, and then came here.
You are fully recovered from that.
Yes, yes.
Did you have to work on strengthening that in the second half? You could actually be.
Unfortunately, I don't like to admit that, but I'm getting up there in the age, so I'm gonna have to keep working on that for the rest of my career. Probably, it's just those things starting to add up, and had the 2 ACL injuries early on. That was the main focus, always keeping the knee okay. Then the calf injury, then you add another thing. So hopefully I don't get to working on my whole body just for hours a day just to being okay.
What are your first impressions of your new coach you got?
Talked to him briefly, just being around him during the practice, him just having us in, he asked basically all the guys to come in as early as possible, just so we can get used to the coaches, the new teammates and everything. And, he's asking for a ball movement, which I think is a great thing in basketball. And, we'll see now in the training camp, when we're going to be working more and more on the stuff that we need for the season. It was more of just playing basketball and just doing a little bit of the team stuff, just trying to figure out the systems already. And now we're really getting to dig into it.
Thomas, last year was such a crazy year for you to come over.
אגב, אני חושב שדוויס ברטנס הוא שחקן מאוד מוגבל, אבל אם שמים אותו בסיסטם הנכון, לכמות דקות מסוימת, הוא יכול להיות שחקן מאוד יעיל לקבוצה, לאו דווקא מבחינת הזריקות שלו והאחוזים שלו.
I would say definitely got the most work done this past summer. It was about 6 weeks of almost no basketball and just getting the body right, which, from the past, when I had the ACL injuries, I think every time I had that injury, the first year back was the best one of all time. So, so hopefully we can continue that. It's a good, the injury is a good reminder that it's not that easy, and it gives you like a chance of like hitting the reset button and just starting from almost zero to kind of build it back up.
And one thing about you that I think everyone in DC loves is your confidence. Whether it was Scott Brooks used to talk about your confidence or whatever. Last year there seemed to be a time where it was shaken, and you had that chance to restart. Do you think, or have you been thinking in the off season about?
שאלה מעניינת, הוא מדבר על זה שעד עכשיו כולם בוושינגטון דיברו על הביטחון שלו, וכרגע בשעה שעברה היה תקופה שנראה שזה לא עובד.
I think it's even less of showing everybody else, it's just showing myself that last year was just one of those years that you kind of want to forget, and that one year was something out of the ordinary, and keeping this season and next season as consistent as possible. You're never going to have, I don't think you're ever going to have a shooter that goes the whole season long and all 8-9 months of shooting at 45%, 50%. And there's always going to be that, that dip in the percentages, and that kind of tests you a little bit. I think I still remember like some of the guys like Klay Thompson, probably one of the best catch and shooters in the league in the history of the game. And like even he was ask him a question of, so what do you do? Like, the percentage go down, like you can't make shots. Well, you can't stop shooting, like you keep shooting. Like that's the only way you can get back. Like you keep shooting in practice and you keep shooting games.
You used to shoot with a broom in your face when you're back, so no big deal, right?
Yeah, I'm actually having one of the coaches sometimes just foul me all the time when I'm shooting threes, and have a little bit of fun with that. And in the games very often there's some contact made that is not enough for a foul call. So, got to work on that as well.
What excites you most about this collection, and how it can help you, and how you see this team playing out?
Well, since we got some guys that have been traded here, from my own experience, getting traded is not a great feeling like somebody's giving up on you, and it gives you like extra motivation, and at the same time, a great opportunity, a new place that actually wants you here. So I think it's going to be a great place for the guys that are new to this team, this summer additions, and waiting for TB to come back. Denny's back from his injury. He's going to be ready for the season, right? Having all the guys healthy and all the new guys on the team, kind of, the main goal is right now just to kind of put it all together find that chemistry as soon as possible. You know, it won't be a surprise if it's a little bit of a struggle early on the season. You know, you can't just throw guys together and expect us to play great immediately. And hopefully we can do that as soon as possible.
Going back to your confidence as a shooter, I know you probably think you can measure up against anyone in a shooting competition, but just what are your early impressions of Corey Kispert as you see him kind of firing it from long range out there in practice?
Yeah, since we had those scrimmages, he's making shots. You know, he's getting the open looks and making them. That's probably the most important thing. You know, when you're open, you make them. Especially as a rookie coming in, like nobody expects him to come out and shoot crazy shots and make those. And you know, maybe eventually he'll get there, but as long as he's making open shots, teammates going to trust him and probably going to get more and more better looks.
Last question to Neil.
Hey, Davis, good to see you. The ups and downs between injury, COVID, everything last year, do you think that impacted your defense? And how do you think that's going to improve this year under Wes Unfeld Jr.'s defense?
Well, mostly in my opinion, defense is a team thing. And, you know, if we're going to have a good system and everybody's going to commit to it, I think we're going to all look better on defense. But of course, the injuries and last season not being in shape, it all affects a lot. And you can see that I think last year was probably the only season besides the rookie year that, you know, other teams were just trying to have me switch on them and go ISO one-on-one, which previously rarely happened. And if it did, then, you know, it rarely worked out for them. So hopefully me being in shape is going to be a lot better this year.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Davis.
שאפילו קצת העבירה ביקורת על הסכמה ההגנתית שנה שעברה של ביקורת מרומזת על הסכמה ההגנתית של, איך קוראים לזה, של סקוט ברוקס. הנה דני.
Thank God. Damn. Oh my God.
Whoa!
Yo, if he goes, I'm going home. Honestly, you guys told me 340. To be fair.
That's crazy. Go ahead, man. That's my first gift to you.
Spence, I appreciate it, man. Hey, shout out to Spence.
Make it quick. Okay. I'm going home.
First of all, good to actually see you in person and not on Zoom.
Thank you.
How's the ankle feeling?
Well, way better. I mean, the ankle's behind me right now. I did a great rehab for about like 6 months. We thought it was going to be shorter, but thank God I had a great staff around me that helped me rehab and get back on track as fast as I can. So I'm thankful for that.
And there's been a lot of talk from Coach Unseld and other Tommy Shepard about how you might be able to be more of a playmaker this year, secondary on-ball playmaker. What's kind of your response to that? Is that I understand obviously you did more of that in your previous stops.
I mean, first of all, my first thoughts in this year's role is to help the team as much as I can. So whatever coach needs me to do or my team need me to do to make the team better, that's what I'm gonna do. So for me, I'm excited for a new year, new opportunities, new players that came, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know, you never know what your role gonna be, but you know, I'm positive. So.
I think only been in open did not necessarily.
I can't hear you.
Okay, בינתיים אומר שהוא חיובי לגבי העונה ושהוא בריא.
But what is it like working with Spencer and having him? How is the offense different? Do you feel like your game is adjusting around?
שואלים אותו איך זה יהיה לשחק עם ספנסר ואיך ההתקפה תותאם על פי זה.
With him as much, I was still rehabbing, working out, getting in shape. They were playing open gym for sure, but I was looking from the side and like seeing them work out and play together. It seems good. I mean, they sharing the ball. I mean, we have great pieces that came along, Spencer and all the guys that came, the new guys that came too. And I think we're gonna do special things this year. I mean, Spencer's also coming back from injury. Everybody knows his skill and what can he do. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the new team's all about. So,
was summer all about rehab for you, or were you able to kind of shift anything or focus on anything, add anything to the game?
Of course. Rehab for me was not just being in the gym and treating my ankle. Is also lifting weights, make sure I'm preparing, I'm preventing all the injuries possible, getting stronger, and working on my game. I mean, from my 3-point game to ball handling and you name it. I mean, I was grinding that summer. I was barely home. I was staying in DC
כבר דיבר שהוא עבד על הכדור שלו ועל השלשות.
That means a lot to me, that season, and to get better in the future. So, yeah.
Jenny, first things first, Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Gives you some time before you can start the rehab to look back at your rookie year. What did you look back and learn and pick apart when you looked at your game?
I've learned tons. I can tell you that. I had a couple of situations last year that I started off the season, and then it was time that I was not really playing and didn't get almost any minutes. And then I was back in the rotation, and I was starting, then I was on the bench. It was kind of a roller coaster for me, but I liked it. I mean, it puts me in challenges.
דבר על השנה שעברה שהייתה כמו רכבת הרים שהפכה אותו לחזק יותר.
What's my role at any time, and it made me much stronger, like in the way that I can also come and affect off the bench and come in the starting five and do what I need to do to make the team better. It wasn't stable for me last year. As a rookie, you always going through a roller coaster, but I try to be as stable as possible, and I think it made me much stronger as a person, as a player.
Having said that, as you look forward to a year where now it's essentially a new team, what excites you most about the opportunity with this group of guys as you look at it?
What excites me is the rookie duties will be reduced. So that's a starting point for me. That's one last thing that I need to focus on, and just being more mature. I feel like I've been guarding guys. I've played on the NBA court. I ran with the best players in the world, and I know what's the feeling of it. Like in my first year, I was coming to a new team, a new gym. It was tough for me. I needed to adjust to the pace, to the defense, to everything, to the respect from the refs, everything. So now I'm way more experienced. I know where I'm at, what's my place. I know the gyms, the players, and it's less things to focus on. So hopefully it's a good starting point.
Denny, it's always an adjustment. As any rookie has to make an adjustment to the NBA. I wonder what the biggest adjustment was for you.
It's different for me than a lot of players that coming to the NBA, because I didn't came from college. I came from EuroLeague, and I played pro since I was 16. So it's just mostly the pace of the game. And I want to say also that nobody really was familiar with your game. Nobody really knew who you were. You needed to earn respect. You needed to earn the trust from your teammates, coaches, everything. And it was a whole, like, it was really like a big change for me coming here, also culturally and also in basketball. But we're here now. I broke through a lot of obstacles on the way, so let's just keep it going.
We only have time for 2 more questions, so we'll go to Neil and then me.
Hey, Denny, good to see you. You discussed with the local people in Israel that you guys tweaked your shooting mechanics a little bit. What was that process like, and how do you feel the fluidity of it is now?
I worked almost the whole summer with the trainer, Mike Davis. He's working with me on how I move on the court and how I get into my shot and how to use my legs and body way more efficient.
And it was a big process for me because a lot of times I'll get tired, I won't have my legs with me, and he really did a great job of coming in with me every morning and just work out on the things that I need to be able to play as much games as I can, have my legs all the time, and hopefully it will pay off. So.
And you had touched on how Russ helped teach you, be a tough player. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? What specifically, and how do you hope to, continue that on in your career?
Russ made me tough mentally, for sure. Like, playing with a great player like Russ, it wasn't easy, especially as a rookie. And he demands a lot of you from on the court, and I experienced it sometimes the hard way, whether it's like him shouting on me sometimes during the game, but I just want to say thank you to him because he just made me stronger. He helped me coming into the NBA and really I need to thank him for a great first year.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you.
Hey guys, can I please ask some questions in Hebrew?
If I'm okay with it, yeah, of course. It's easier for me.
אחלה, אהלן דני, חג שמח, מה העניינים?
חג שמח, מה קורה?
בסדר, אחלה. רציתי לשאול אותך כמה שאלות. הראשון באמת, דיברת על זה קצת עכשיו, על מה עבדת במהלך הפגרה, לשפר במשחק שלך. תספר לנו קצת על התהליך שנעשה מאחורי הקלעים.
תשמע, זה היה תהליך ארוך מאוד. נשארתי בוושינגטון כמעט כל הקיץ, היה לי מעט מאוד זמן בבית. הרבה דברים. הייתי בא ממש מוקדם בבוקר, אני יכול להגיד לך שהייתי קם לפעמים ב5:30, 6, כמעט כל בוקר, וכבר מ6 הייתי עובד בעצם עד 1 בצהריים, 2 בצהריים, שזה כמובן התחיל בחדר כושר, הרבה תרגילים, הרבה חיזוקים לקרסול, הרבה באמת תנועות שהייתי צריך לבצע בשביל באמת למנוע פציעות וגם לגרום לגוף להרגיש יותר נוח על המגרש. וגם על המגרש, אתה יודע, השלשות, הדברים שבאמת אני צריך לעבוד עליהם, הכדרור, אתה יודע, אני לא ממעיט בלעשות דברים על המגרש, אני באמת משתדל לעשות את כל הדברים שאפשר, גם כדרר, גם לקלוע, גם לשמור, אז אתה צריך הרבה זמן בשביל לעבוד על הדברים האלה. אתה יודע, אני לא שחקן שרק בא לזרוק שלשות, הוא שחקן שרק בא לעשות הגנה, אתה מבין? אז הרבה דברים שאני רוצה לעבוד עליהם, אז הרבה זמן שאני צריך לעבוד עליהם.
איך אתה חושב שצוות האימון החדש בכלליות, איך אתה תשתלב, אם תצא לך לדבר איתם, איך אתה תשתלב במשחק או בסכמה התקפית בקבוצה?
אני מאוד אופטימי, אתה מכיר אותי, אני עד שאני באמת לא יצא לי ממש להכיר אותם ובאמת לשחק משחק שלם ובאמת להיות לצידם כל כך הרבה, אבל תשמע, האנרגיות מדהימות. באמת, באנרגיות של כאילו בא לנו להצליח, שבא להם לשפר אותך, שבאמת כיף להגיע לאולם ולעבוד כל בוקר, ואני באמת נהנה, אני מרגיש באמת בית. כבר שנה שנייה, ואתה יודע, כולם באמת בסדר גמור איתי. אין לי בכלל תלונות לגבי הצוות אימון החדש.
אוקיי, ושאלה האחרונה, רצינו לשאול את ברדלי ביל כאן, אבל לא יצא לנו. מה אתה חושב על הדירוג שלך בטוקי השנה?
מה אני חושב על הדירוג שלי בטוקי? תשמע, מבחינת שנה שנייה, קח את זה, אתה יודע, תמיד זה כיף לי לבוא ולראות באמת שאני נמצא במשחק שגדלתי עליו, אבל אני מאמין שאני אשתפר עם הזמן. אני מאמין שזה לא יהיה הציון הסופי.
אחלה דני, שיהיה המון בהצלחה.
תודה רבה.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome. Thank you guys. Thanks man, appreciate it.
טוב חברים, כרגיל דני, זו שאלה ישראלית. הייתי חייב. כן, תשמעו, באמת בחור חיובי, דני, תמיד כיף לדבר איתו במסיבות עיתונאים, הוא תמיד מחוייך, תמיד שמח, רואים שהוא לא מבסוט עד הסוף עם הדירוג שלו. אני בינתיים יצא פה שנייה מהזום, יעבור למסך הגדול. רגע. הנה, כן, אתם רואים כאן את שנייה, נסגור את המצלמה. בינתיים יש פה את ספנסר דינווידי, אבל אני כבר נראה לי תכף יצא מהזום, אני לא חושב אני אמשיך איתו, רגע. הנה, אני כאן. כן, הילד תמיד אופטימי, תמיד מאוד מאוד חיובי. אתה מכיר אותי, דני אבדיה. כן, תמיד מאוד חיובי, תמיד אופטימי. יש הרבה דברים באמת, הוא תמיד מחוייך, יש הרבה דברים שהוא עבד עליהם במהלך הקיץ, ככה שאני יודע בעקיפין. שמעתם אותו, הוא מדבר על זה שהוא עובד על הכידור שלו, אני יודע שהוא עובד על הכידור שלו ביד שמאל, על הקליעה בקאץ' אנד שוט, הקליעה בתנועה, הרבה דברים שהוא באמת צריך לשפר, סליחה. מה הדירוג של דני בטוקי? הוא 74 אם אני לא טועה, ורואים שהוא פחות מבסוט מהדירוג הזה. חברים, בינתיים, כל מי שעוד לא פרגן בלייק, קודם נרשם לערוץ, אני אשמח אם תעשו את זה. באיזה עוד ערוץ יוצא לכם להיכנס למסיבות עיתונאים ב-NBA, ככה באופן קבוע. ובנוסף, ביום חמישי אנחנו הולכים לעשות, כמו שאני אמרתי כבר, לייב 101, אני אשמח אם תוכלו לעזור לי, זה פיילוט ראשוני שמכניסים ערוץ יוטיוב לעמדה שפעם הייתה עמדה של רדיו וטלוויזיה בלבד, ערוץ יוטיוב, לשדר בלייב 101, אני אשמח אם תוכלו להגיע ובאמת לעזור לי, לתמוך בלייקים, בצפיות, לשתף, בכל דבר שאפשר. 75, סליחה, נכון, 75. תן לשמוע את דינווידי. האמת שדינווידי הוא באמת מעניין. שנייה.
Overseas or G League, so I don't want to sit here and say I'm playing all 4 preseason games and then like they literally sit all of us and you guys call me a liar, so.
אני אוריד את היד כי אני...
Maybe DC media is nice.
טוב, נראה, אולי תנו לי באמת לשאול כאן.
I don't know.
תודה חברים, גם אם אתם, לא יודע, צופים משחק כדורגל, תבואו, תפרגנו בלייק, תפרגנו באמת, אני לא מבקש את הדברים האלה בצורה כזאת בדרך כלל, כאילו של... אבל אני צריך את זה בשביל שהדבר הזה יהפוך להיות משהו קבוע, ובאמת אנחנו נצליח לשים איזשהו יתד בעולם של היוטיוב, בתוך העולמות האלה, בתור מקום קבוע, זה נכס מדהים, ויפתח עולמות חדשים לגמרי.
And yeah, he knows that I'm here to help take the team to the playoffs, and hopefully beyond when the time is right when we all get on the same page and everything. So he knows that I'm here to aid him. Like that's my job.
And we're asking a bunch of guys, but are you vaccinated?
Yeah.
Is a follow-up to that just
אתם שמתם לב ששאלו את כל השחקנים האמריקאים האם הם מחוסנים, אבל לא שאלו את הישראלים. יש דרישה לסרטון עם דני בטוקי. דני משחק פלייסטיישן.
Maybe not specifically about them, but just generally how it's clearly going to be a factor, just like the bubble was 2 years ago and protocols for last.
Yeah, my healthy opinion on this is as long as Daniel Gafford is vaccinated and stays healthy, we have a fighting chance against every team in the league. I'm not just saying that because he's in the room.
בנגו תורם $2 ורושם היי פיני, היית שואל אותו אם יצא לראות משחקים שלי המדר מה הוא חושב על המעבר שלו. כן, אבל בנגו יש לי זמן יחסית מוגבל, אז העדפתי לשאול דברים שנוגעים אליו ופחות מאשר על המדר.
If a guy gets suspended, it's not a choice, you can't play.
Yeah.
How will teammates react when a guy can't play because he chose not to get a shot?
I'm probably not the best guy to ask about this because I'm very much so like in a lot of ways eat right, have healthy habits, like you will take care of yourself, like the body's a machine that's designed to heal itself. In a lot of ways, obviously, this is a very special circumstance. Also, somebody that's relied on modern medicine for like my ACL surgeries, for example. So I do understand special cases, but there is that side of me too that says like, hey, like if that's fully what you believe, like I support it because part of my soul lives there too. So in terms of that conflict, I can't say that if I wasn't in the NBA that I may look at this a little bit differently. I think the job has a piece to play in this. And also my parents being a little bit older than normal 20-year-old parent age. But, everybody has their own factors. Like it's a personal decision. I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and gets on somebody.
כן, בהמשך למה שמישהו רשם פה, דין בידי גם מאוד מאמין בביטקוין, גם אני אגב.
When you come to a new team, is there an edge or a chip or something, or what's your mental frame as you come to a new team? Or is there that mentality you want to show them?
Not so much. I mean, I think my time in Brooklyn was very interesting, right? If I don't get hurt and we keep the same squad and go on to win a championship, whatever, you know, you probably keep the team together, extend all that other stuff. So I'm probably there. With me being hurt and all the changes that were made and kind of being a little bit removed, you pretty much knew that I probably wasn't going to be on the Nets. So it wasn't like a love-loss situation because they also gave me an opportunity, you know, 5 seasons ago. So, you know, there had to be.
כן, בינתיים הסאונד של המסיבת עיתונאים קצת לא יציב, אז כשהוא יחזור אני אחזיר אותו גם כן. בינתיים בן גו תורם עוד $2, ורושם פיני, אתה יכול לעשות לי ריקאפ בנוגע למה שואלים את כולם לגבי חיסונים, מה קרה. יש הרבה עניין פוליטי בארצות הברית היום סביב החיסונים, דמוקרטים, רפובליקנים וכן הלאה, לא כולם מסכימים בלהתחסן, הרבה קונספירציות, ובגלל זה נושא שהוא מאוד מאוד חם שם, וה-NBA לא מתבייש לערב פוליטיקה עם הספורט שם.
Help facilitate the elephant in the room, which is hopefully keeping, you know, our cornerstone in the building. So, you know, those are the things that I'm focused on. You know, proving this organization right, helping Brad in any way I can, making sure that we continue to put our best foot forward so we can, you know, in a year, 2 years, whatever it is, be a true contending team in a major city that has a political backdrop and would be phenomenal for us to be a staple in the NBA. There's no reason we shouldn't be. So that's more so the focus than anything in Brooklyn because I genuinely do appreciate the years that I spent there.
Spencer, when someone has an injury like an ACL, everyone talks about the rehab, the process, but it's not until you get into a situation where you do something and you test it that you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Have you had that moment yet where you did something and you're like, okay, I got it, I'm good now?
Don't check Diallo about a month ago. Thought that was kind of nice. It's on Instagram, y'all can catch me on Instagram, Spencer Dinwiddie. Go follow me. It's up there. Basically, I kind of sort of feel like I'm like almost back, but once again, like if I had that same type of move in training camp and I dunk on Gafford, then I know for sure like I'm really back for real.
Spencer, just because you mentioned being in DC and all that.
כל השאלות הפוליטיות פה לגבי ה-NBA, דמוקרטים, רפובליקנים וזה, עזבו את זה חבר'ה, באמת, אין לנו מה להתעסק בזה. יש יותר מדי פוליטיקה היום, בוא נתעסק נטו בספורט.
No, I mean, no. Obviously, it goes without saying in terms of DC, how I want to step foot into that realm hasn't really occurred to me because we have more pressing issues. Like I want to continue to keep the main thing. Everything I listed there starts off with basketball. And quite honestly, people wouldn't even care about my affinity for cryptocurrency and the other stuff if I wasn't a basketball player and a high level one at that. You know, I mean, I've been talking about crypto for 5 years. People didn't start caring until I started, you know what I'm saying, going crazy. So like, that's just the real. That too. I think there's a learning curve and all that other stuff for the general public, but it's a lot more fun to say like skills challenge winner or potential all-star does this crazy crypto thing than like, hey, 5-point a game dude that doesn't play at all has a side business. Like it doesn't have the same ring to it. So, you know, if you do your job, we get Brad and Supermax. We go to playoffs.
כאילו, יש לו וייב טוב כזה.
Maybe I'll go talk to Biden. Tax laws too, boy, you trying to kill me.
הוא בינתיים הבחור הכי מעניין שהיה פה, אני חייב להגיד. חוץ מדני כמובן, הבחור הכי מעניין שהיה כאן במסיבת עיתונאים.
Hey Spencer, just what conversations have you started to have with Coach Unseld about, you know, your role in offensive system and defensive system?
I mean, in general, like obviously we talk about like schemes and things like that because obviously he's a coach and starting to put some of those things in place just over this kind of mini camp period. I mean, obviously the truth of the matter with the NBA is like some of that hierarchy is kind of established by how checks are written. So like I'm gonna play, obviously, like I'm gonna be the starting point guard. That's gonna be my role. Like, you know, I mean, I don't really know what else to kind of put on that one. That's probably a no-brainer.
That's fair. I guess, how much feedback do you then give him and say, oh, hey, maybe this is something we can try? Or is that still very early on in the process while you guys work things out?
I think it's early. I think so far he's talked about being collaborative for sure. But I think for me, especially with a new head coach, like the last thing you want to do is feel like you're trying to like step on toes or take control or anything like that. It's just, I don't think that lends itself to an effective relationship. So it's really more so about me learning right now. And as we continue to put all the systems in place and you know, learn the system, adopt it, all that stuff, that's where you ask for maybe a tweak here or there. But for now, it's about committing fully to it and giving all your energy and effort to the process of what he has set forth.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
באמת אוהב לשמוע אותו בינתיים מסיבת עיתונאים הזאת. אני חושב שהוא מבין, חוץ מדני, באמת הכי מעניין שהיה עד עכשיו. הוא מדבר יפה, נעים לאוזן, לא משעמם ומונוטוני כזה.
Christy, you good?
I cannot hear when you're calling a couple times today. I'm sorry. Spencer, when you spoke about taking pressure off of Bradley Beal, what specifically do you mean by that when you say taking pressure off of him and helping him out?
I mean, for me, I feel like my play style, if we look at just the Brooklyn years, it's been one that's been very malleable. You know, I would say first year I kind of came off the bench. Second year, I ended up having like high assist numbers. Third year, it was 6-man scoring punch off the bench. Fourth year, we're talking about like a guy who kind of led a team to the playoffs due to injuries to our 3 stars. And then obviously fifth year was more so like a Draymond role. Here, it'll probably be a lot of playmaking. Obviously, Brad, we hope to score 25, 30 points, whatever it is. Looking at a lot of the playmaking, making sure the ball continues to move and not stick. And then obviously probably taking on the second best player defensively. Looking at our lineup right now, you would assume probably Pope starts, given, you know, the environment that we're in right now. So I'm assuming he takes the best player. I would take the second best player. That frees up Brad to have a, you know, third, fourth, whatever option it is, especially with Kuz also being a quality defender. So, you know, just being another guy that can help in that area, obviously playmaking as well. So just all around whatever the team needs is kind of how I want to try to plug in and play, just increased usage.
Right.
יפה, הוא ענה יפה.
What the teams...
הוא מספר על זה שהוא רוצה להפוך להיות השחקן השני הכי טוב בהגנה, בקבוצה, והפליימייקר של הקבוצה, לגרום לכדור להמשיך לנוע וכן הלאה, ובאמת מדבר בצורה יפה, אבל נותן גם אינפוט מעניין כאן על קלדוול פופ.
The quicker that I can kind of like learn the other players, what they like. For example, in a couple pickup games, I've identified obviously Trezor's to play in the short role. Obviously Gafford's a lob threat. Like these are all things that are going to make reads different, right? Depending upon the defenses we play. Right, if Gafford's not as good in the short roll, then that means that if I want to get to that corner skip pass, and it's probably me making the pass. With Trez, sometimes going to be making that quick pocket, and I'm only going to get the hockey assist. So, you know, things are going to look different depending upon who you're playing with, who's in the corner. Am I trying to draw the defense down so they kind of play the corner pass so they'll look to the high slot because we have a better three-point shooter there? Am I playing with a pick and pop 4? Like, what am I doing, Davis? He's going to be different. Is he hunting out, you know, a wide away screens in transition so that he can get his 3, you know, and playing quick pick and rolls or not? You know what I mean? There's so much nuance there. And then with Brad, it's just like, get out the way. You know what I mean? Like, how can I best get out of your way? So it's just about learning, honestly. And that's my approach to it. And once you kind of have that down, then that's when you can be more aggressive, more dominant, because, you know, I think the guys also trust you a little bit more to try to make the right decision. And I'm not just going out there just, you know, trying to just spaz all over the game.
Right. I love the tactical answer. Thank you so much.
No problem. Come on, Quinn. We've been waiting for you.
What's good, Spence? I got a quick one. I know you're trying to get out of here. Did you and John ever link on that NFT talk?
No, he didn't hit me back, unfortunately.
It's missing out. Are you excited about the Socios partnership the team now has?
No, I'm not, because I want my company Galaxy to buy the jersey patch and do the partnership. But the NBA has like rules against, you know, guys not having, you know, business deals with ownership or teams and all that stuff, which I thought was a complete crock of BS. Because like, really, I would have paid full price for it. Like they were, I think, selling it for like 12 million or something like that. I was like, bro, like, I will pay that. Like, can I just put my jersey patch? That would be so baller. Like, come to a new team in Capitol Hill, put the jersey, the crypto patch on the jersey, and they shut all that down. So, you know, NBA be hating. It is what it is, though.
Appreciate
also, last note, too, Quentin thinks he can play with me basketball-wise. He's off bath salts if he really thinks that. Yeah, that's really all I have to say to close out my media session. None of you guys can guard me, Gafford included. Have a great day.
Appreciate you.
No problem.
טוב, הוא נחמד, באמת היה כיף לשמוע אותו. האמת שאני קלטתי מאוחר, אבל שלחו לי פה הודעה, שאלו אותי אם שכחתי להוריד את היד, או שאני באמת יש לי משהו לשאול אותו, ורשמתי להם מאוחר מדי שיש לי משהו לשאול אותו, אז הם אמרו לי כבר לא משנה, אבל חבל, הייתי יכול באמת... הנה השחקן השני הכי אהוב עליי בקבוצה, דניאל גפורד, השחקן שעשה את השינוי שנה שעברה. שחקן שמסתמן כרגע כאילו שהוא אמור להיות הסנטר הפותח, וגם על פי מה שספנסר אמר, ככה אינפוט, אתם יודעים, בין המילים אפשר למצוא שקלדוול פופ אמור להיות השחקן שיפתח בעמדה מספר 3.
What I really just take from that quote mainly is just the simple fact that he wanted to be better the time that he had said that quote. So, I mean, the mindset with this is just basically coming in and giving my all to the team. And me being in shape, that's going to help me out a lot. For sure. So just really just working on my craft and working on my body throughout the whole summer. Like I didn't go home at all after the last game when we played Philly, came back, took about a week off, didn't go home, got back into the gym. That was just the main thing. I wanted to be better. I wanted to progress from the season that the half of the season that I had after I came from Chicago and be able to, you know, put on top of like everything that I did and just build off of that. So that was just my main thing. So I really didn't, like I took a couple of vacation times. I didn't spend the whole summer working. You know, I went back and forth to a couple of spots, you know, with my family and stuff. But other than that, it was just my mindset was to get better throughout the whole summer.
Was it just playing hoops or was there like a specific exercise that you worked in?
No, I mean, it was a lot. I worked on a lot of footwork. I worked on a lot of, you know, facing up through, you know, inside of the post if I were to get it down there. Just really just working on my jump shot as well, working on more and more to build my confidence more and more every day. That was just the main thing. There were times where it was just one-on-one, me and like a coach, you know, working on the things that I need to work on to excel my game. Then there were days where I played actually pickup, you know, to work on the things that I have been working on. So a little bit of both. So both of them were helping me build my confidence as, you know, the days went by.
Yeah, you talked to us so much last season about your mindset, just, you know, obviously getting traded mid-season and all that. But now, well, it's kind of weird because you were here for a couple months and pretty much everything changed. But where is your mind at going into this season? Do you have specific goals other than, I just want to get better? Do you feel more settled or are you still kind of learning everything because everyone's new all over again?
I would say if there was a percentage of what it was, I would say I'm at 95%. You know, the last 5% is when the season gets here. That's my main thing. Once I get through training camp, that's when I'll be fully locked in. Just like I said, I didn't go home. My mindset was to get in the gym, work on everything I needed to work on to be able to withstand another season and be able to help the team, you know, get to where we wanted to be. And that was back to the playoffs and past the first round and so on and so forth.
Daniel, Justin Kutcher, we never actually met, so it's finally great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Last year when you got traded here, all of a sudden it was like you got a new opportunity. It looked almost like it was like a new lease on life for your career. Is that part of the motivation, what you saw, what you could do? And now in the offseason, like, wow, if I can do that when I wasn't in shape, what can I do when I'm in shape?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna lie. It was at times where I felt like I took a lot of things for granted, especially like being in Chicago and stuff. There were times where I was in a position to be able to show the team what I can do and show how I can
help the team. זה דניאל גפורד, בחור שהגיע משיקגו בשנה שעברה באמצע העונה בטרייד. השחקן שעשה את השינוי שנה שעברה בוושינגטון. מבחינה הגנתית.
I felt like I was, but when I got out there on the court, it was a whole different story. everybody's seen it. So I had to change the narrative on like what a lot of people were saying, for sure, because there was one tweet that I actually like mentioned to before I even got traded. It was like I was playing myself out of the league, and I didn't want that to happen. Not at all. I got a lot of people that are behind me that are pushing me to be the player that I want to be, and I don't want to let them down. So that's just my main focus.
Yeah, I'm Dave Johnson of the Wizards Radio. I guess we never actually met last year.
Yeah, I say I ain't seen a lot of people face it.
I've got a face for radio. So, along those lines, and Spencer talked about this, you know, as he comes to a new team wanting to prove the Wizards right. And is that part of this mentality you were just talking about, how hard you worked in the summer? You're obviously self-motivated, but also it's a team you clearly wanted you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that was just the main thing, you know, just having the idea in the back of your head that it's like a team out there that actually wanted me. You know, I felt like my only place was Chicago, to be honest, because of how I was playing and how, you know, things were going there. Because, I mean, I was on the bench at one point in time, so on and so forth. But whenever I got out there, you know, it looked like I was, you know, BSing and stuff. You know, I got a dunk here, I got a block there, little things. But it never really built up to where I could excel and be the player that I wanted to be in Chicago. So I thought my only place was there. But then to find out that another team wanted me for, you know, a lot more reasons than I thought, I mean, it really helped me out a lot. It helped me boost my confidence. It helped me get out of the dark place that I was in because,
באמת אני אוותר על לנסות לשאול אותו. שאלו אותי עכשיו פה בזה, אם אני רוצה לשאול אותו, אני אוותר הפעם.
Before my second year even ended. So, I mean, it was a lot of stuff that was, you know, on my mind when I was in Chicago.
לאחריו אני חושב שסיימנו את כל השחקנים המעניינים של הערב.
Once I got traded to Washington and, you know, I talked to all the guys from Chicago, there was never a thought in my mind that was negative about Chicago. I mean, you know, day in, day out, I came in and worked there. I mean, they seen it. And, you know, once they made the trade, I understood because this is a business. You can't really, you know, get too mad and get too butthurt about the business. I was a little hurt at the time, but, I mean, you get over it because sooner or later I'm going to see them again on down the road. It's going to be happy faces and a lot of highs and buys, you know, and then it's going to be a whole game to be played. So sooner or later I'll see them again.
And how much of your kind of restructuring this summer was due to the fact that you knew, hey, there's starters minutes available this year, and I'm going to be the starter, and I need to be ready for that?
If we being honest, and this is just me being completely honest, I wasn't really just worrying about starting. I was just really just worrying about, you know, being out there on the floor. You know, I can start throughout any of the games that we play, you know, but to be honest, I just want to be on the floor. That's the main thing, being out there to be able to help the team. Like a starting job, I'm all for that.
גפורד אמור השנה להיות הסנטר הפותח של הוויזארדס. אני לא יודע אם זה לא סנטר פותח של 30 משהו דקות, אני מניח שזה באזור בין 22 ל-25 דקות.
It really doesn't even matter. I'll start or I'll play on the bench. Whatever job you have me do, I'll do it. Plain and simple. As long as I get playing time to be able to go out and help my team win.
Also, during last season, you were talking about wind and losing, not being able to sustain the wind. Did you ever look and check and see if it was sports asthma? Was it just, I just need to be in better shape?
Yeah, it was just, I just needed to be in better shape. Plain and simple. You know, the tempo of the NBA game is way faster than what I would say I'm usually used to. Because when it came from college and stuff, when I was telling everybody at first with all the interviews and stuff, they were like, how's the pace and how have you adjusted? I always said I was good, but I got out on the floor. I was not that good at all. So just taking some steps back and just realizing that it helps a lot because it was a lot of things that I can really just focus on working on to be able to help my win and stuff coming into this next season.
Just to clarify, this tweet that has motivated you, was that just from some random fan or was it from like a member of the media?
I think it was actually from, I'm pretty sure, Arkansas Razorback fan. You know, Arkansas Razorback fans are by far the best fans that a person could really have because they can motivate you and they can put you down at the same time. But I mean, I appreciate it because it was one of the people that really motivated me when I was back at Arkansas, and just seeing them say that, it really just, you know, brought something out of me. It was like, yeah, sooner or later, I mean, something's going to have to click with me to where I can be able to withstand multiple seasons in the NBA because that's what I want to do. I want to play this game. I dreamed of being in this position all my life, well, half my life, because at first I was playing instruments and stuff like that, but that's another story. But yeah, so it wasn't really just like a random person, because once I seen it, I was like, yeah, I know who it was. I liked it and everything. I even saved it in my tweets. So
stay away from those people you don't know. Trust me, I can speak to that. You mentioned your workouts this summer and how it was motivating, what Kobe said. And then you got a chance to play with Russell Westbrook last year, and he's known for his work ethic. What did you learn from playing with Russ with his work ethic? And what did you learn from those workouts that you were trying to like almost be Kobe in those workouts?
Just staying consistent and working for the results that you really want.
כן חברים, אני אשתדל לעלות סרטון מחר של תקציר של מה שקרה פה, אני מקווה שאני אספיק.
Just working for results. Like I intertwine a lot of things that happen around me, and I use it for motivation to be able to withstand like workouts or anything like that, to help me, you know, build my craft, certain things like that. It helps me learn like a lot of stuff on the court and off the court, to be honest. So just working for the results that I wanted was like my main focus, not working for, you know, I always say stuff about the team and everything like that, but summertime, that's my time. And working on my craft and everything, that's what I used my time to do. So I worked for the results, and I got the results that I wanted.
We'll now go to Zoom. We'll start with Neil.
Hey, Daniel, good to see you again. In addition to just, you know, general conditioning, what are some of the other things that you and, you know, I know you work closely with Alex, try to implement into your game this offseason?
Just really slowing down the pace of the game whenever the ball was in my hands. You know, not going too fast, not taking uncomfortable shots, and being on balance and having a strong base, and just mainly like simple things that'll help me slow the game down for myself.
And maybe this is, you know, from Montrezl Harrell, you know, just being a veteran center in this league that you think can help your game?
Yeah, for sure. The main thing he says is stay locked in. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Appreciate it, Daniel.
No problem.
Here, Michelle. We'll go to Glenn.
Is that me? I can't hear you.
Sorry, Glenn, go ahead.
All right. Hey, Daniel, it's Glenn Consor. I am the radio color analyst and TV as well at times. You mentioned how you're in this position in your career where you're learning what it takes to be a pro. You're learning about your body, what you need to do to stay in great shape, the shape that you need to be in to play and stay on the floor. There's also skill development too. That's going to take time. You're in that learning phase.
Right.
If you were coaching you, how would you coach you right now?
Like going into this season? That you mean like okay.
Right now. What is the best ways for you to learn? How, you know, if you were coaching yourself in games, what would be the best way to coach you?
Main thing I would tell myself is to slow down. You know, like a person like me, my mind goes 1,000 miles per hour whenever I'm playing, to be honest. And so just the main thing I would tell myself is just to slow down and let the game come to you. Don't go out and try to take it, because if you do, you're not going to get the result that you want. If you slow down and just take your time and be patient with the process, I mean, the process is going to give you what you want in the end.
And there's a lot of learning involved in the NBA, in learning schemes and where to be and how to cut and when to cut, and
right,
defensively as well. What's the best ways for you to learn? Is it being pulled aside? Is it during in-game action? You know, is it a combination? I mean, just your thoughts on that.
Really just for me, just taking the time out and actually going to learn instead of just, you know, being pulled aside, certain things like that. Because sometimes with me, you know, it's rare for me to be pulled aside and get pointers and stuff. So I take it upon myself to actually go get those pointers, you know, by myself. Like if there was a foul in the game and I'm trying to figure out how to keep myself from getting that foul, it was footage of like me going to talk to a ref. Like those are like the main things that I do. Like I'll go ask like, hey, how can I not get this foul? Or how can I get this foul? You know, if somebody fouls me on offense and I don't get the foul, which I mean, they need to do better on that anyways, but that's another story. But just little things like that, just, you know, taking accountability of yourself and actually going to talk to people and learning in your own way.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Last question to Jay Rochelle.
יאללה, כל זה ולא שומעים אותי. אז אמרתי, חברים, מחר אני אשתדל לעלות סרטון תקציר של מה שהיה כאן. כאן אני אסכם את איך קוראים לזה, את הלייב הזה. דיברתי מלא, שכחתי כבר מה אמרתי. אז היה לייב נחמד, היה שיחה מעניינת עם אבדיה. השיחה התחילה למי שמעוניין לפני פחות או יותר 45 דקות, למי שרוצה לחזור אחורה בלייב. מחר אני אעשה גם נקודות זמן על הלייב עצמו, וגם אני אשתדל לעשות תקציר. וביום חמישי, חברים, לייב מההיכל, נשמח אם תוכלו להגיע, לפרגן, לשתף כמה שאפשר, ושיהיה לכולכם חג שמח, וכן, לפני יום חמישי אני אעלה סרטון באמת על מכבי תל אביב. אוהב אתכם, ביי ביי, חג שמח.